He's free. He's fighting. He's fighting for me. Well, I don't want.
Hey, I'm 60. You start with you at Chris here on Thursday.
I am because it is Thursday.
It's 58 degrees outside today.
It's not bad.
It really is. It was 79 today. So we still have a good day.
Yep.
Let's see the rest of the week. Friday, 53s and then 78, 79, 76, 72. Wow. Yeah, that's why we live in
Yeah.
uh,
Well, and lower crime rates, and, things like that are nice too.
nice people.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a nice town.
It is.
People.
I love it here.
People are friendly.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed when the Marine Corps sent me here, 36 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Because
You look at it on a map and
yeah.
look at it and say, what the heck?
Well, we used to drive through here when I was a kid, going to visit family in California, and this was the place you stopped for gas. We didn't run out of gas. Yeah. But yeah, once I got here, found out where I was and how to get around, and I was like, oh, this wasn't too bad. And then my siblings, they all settled in Southern California, and I saw the stuff they were doing. It's like, yeah, you can keep that. I'm okay here. I like it. Yeah.
They wanted to rescue you.
I keep telling them, hey, we got room. Come on over.
Rescue you. Hey, car accident the other day.
Oh,
Cadillac Escalade ended up in a backyard pool.
huh?
That's not good.
No.
3 o'clock in the morning.
You're
So what do you think
gonna probably drunk driving.
And then is that where mine first go? Mine too. Yeah.
Well, at that time of the morning.
Yeah. It happened on 30th Avenue, 14th Street. Homeowner found a vehicle crashed. I'm sure they found it after the
Yeah.
waited.
They just woke up, happened to wake up.
Crashed through their back wall.
Uh-huh.
Was in a swimming pool. 5-year-old child was injured in it. No car seat.
Okay.
That's criminal, isn't it? I mean, my goodness.
Right. What were they doing with a 5-year-old kid at 3 in the morning?
I don't know.
Now I hope it wasn't drunk driving.
And it was early Friday morning. This was obviously last week, but I hadn't heard about it. I just happened to pick it up. A child was there at Phoenix Children's Hospital. Was terrible condition. Yeah, real serious.
Yeah.
The police believe that the woman had been speeding and impaired.
Huh.
When she was driving northbound on 31st Drive, veered off the road to an open field, crashed into the wall, or landed in the pool.
Wow.
Holy moly.
Huh.
That's just insane.
Yeah.
So both of them were hurt.
They luckily didn't drown.
It was on 30th Avenue and 14th Street. So that's a rude awakening. When the police got the 25-year-old woman was unconscious and seriously hurt.
Wow.
Horrible.
Yeah. There are so many things wrong with that story.
Yeah, 3 in the morning. The police believe speeding and impaired. Those are both bad.
Yeah.
And a 5-year-old without a child seat.
50 years ago, that was common, but.
And this is kind of like Escalade. Now, you don't know if that meant they had a lot of money or they bought a used one because they wanted a name.
I don't know.
Let's take a phone call. You're on the air. Good. Good. No. Yeah. Yeah. No, we don't want that.
Right.
Sure. No. She also didn't have a firearm. Yeah. She wasn't fighting the police. She was crawling through a small window. Correct. I think so. Michael something, yeah. And that happened, of course, on Jason, uh, during the, inside the Capitol. He was inside the Capitol, probably trespassing. And somebody had broken that window and she was trying to crawl through it. And a police officer just walked up from around the corner, the gun to her neck, pulled the trigger. And she was incapacitated. She had her hands down to her side, stuck in a window. Well, yeah, well, they did an internal investigation. Said, no, he's not guilty of anything, and let it go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
Right. We're. It's not done. It's not. And and yeah, there's some disappointments along the way. But I think overall, the public opinion's in the right direction. I think overall, um, uh, well, the accountability as far as jail time or something like that, going to get kicked out of the Congress. No. He did get a censure from the military and supposedly his pay cut,
Hmm.
because he got promoted or something. And he never did challenge that in the military. Now,
No.
it was, he didn't go to court martial to challenge it in the military. It's
Right.
military jurisdiction. He went to another judge.
He filed a suit.
He filed a suit and stuff like that. Civil. Yeah.
Hmm.
They're heroes. I think they're all heroes. They go for the hardest jobs. Those are not the easy jobs. Yeah. 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 Well, we got a lot of people on the left that will say and do anything to protect them just because they want to be anti-Trump, and they like the illegals because they pad the voting for Democrats. That's it. Yeah. No. Oh, the death threats, the attacks are up
Yeah.
huge, huge, huge numbers. Right. Yeah. The Ice Age was injured. The Ice Age was hit by the car. You know, because they feel it's legal. They feel they can attack. They feel they can block roadways, and there's organizations teaching them to do it. There's an instruction manuals on how to get in front of ICE agents and stop them from arresting people, which is all people are pushing it. I think it's conspiracy to go after those organizations that are training. Well, there is a lot in there's thousands of people that are arrested, thousands. I mean, ISIS has captured them and taken thousands of people off the streets. So they are doing good work in spite of all the roadblocks that the left is throwing out. Yeah, yeah. That's what they're trained to do, to cause, to interrupt. And they're after, they're a high risk job tracking down dangerous criminals. And they got people with horns, whistles, and jumping up and grabbing them. What a horrible situation they have to work under. This is hazardous duty, and they should get combat pay, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, right. Well, they get the press like CBS did a report that says, Trump's lying. There's only 14% of the criminal of the illegal get arrested for criminal, only 14% dangerous criminals, and it's just a lot. The stats are nearly 70%. They do pick up other people. I mean, dangerous criminals riding around with other illegals that aren't necessarily, uh, the bank robbers. They're going to pick those up too, and they said that. That's why, they want the states to turn them over once they're in jail,
Mhm.
and they can peacefully do it. It's less dangerous to everybody involved. Tell the left. Tell the left to have a duty. Look, we can't even get them to agree to a voter act that says you have to have ID.
Right.
And 84% of the population, all population, including Democrats, Independents, Republicans, believe it should have passed. 100% of the vote, all but one Democrat in the House voted to say no. All Democrats, no. Makes it too hard for women that get married to change their name. Now, that's a serious comment, from the
Of Democrats, yeah.
yeah, but I'm telling you, but overall the whole country was 95 Republicans and then I don't know the independents, but the entire population, 84% said pass it, and they won't do it. No, heaven forbid. I heard it was because ladies get married, it's hard to change your name. That's other representatives are saying. They used to say it was too hard for black people. Black people don't know how to get IDs, which is so
Right.
ridiculously insulting and stupid.
Yeah.
Now they change it to married women.
Well, because they would be too stupid to. Yeah.
Because they don't know. They
They
live in
don't know history. Yeah.
they live in a bubble, or they have that same ideology, and they believe the crap they've been hearing about Trump bad, Trump's evil. He's going to take away your rights. I mean, it comes out from the mainstream news probably every day. Watch The View, and you can think that he's Charles Manson.
It was,
Right. They started with the Dems, yes. Very progressive, very progressive. And Woodrow Wilson, he was such a racist, and the Democrats put his picture up in their things as a famous president. He kicked all the black cooks out of the White House. They wanted black people around. Yeah. They yes.
Yeah.
But they believe it not to be true. And if you tell them they're put their hands over there, no, 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 no.
Well, and we're talking about people not knowing their history. Where people learn history in schools, schools are very liberal and have been for a long time, and they're just not teaching history the way it should be taught. So there you go.
But yeah. I never heard that.
Yeah.
But we need to get to the youth. I mean, a lot of the youth is growing up now thinking socialism's okay, man. We should do
Right.
socialism. I mean, they believe it because they think capitalism is evil. They think that oligarchs, they call oligarchs anyway with $1 billion an oligarch, except for the good ones, the ones that make out. Well, they don't understand how they benefit. Correct. They don't understand that the reason they don't have, scarce food and we don't have long lines at grocery stores and stuff is because we have capitalism.
Right.
And because we have competition and we got people working to make it better every day versus a bunch of bureaucrats just doing the status quo, like you see in a lot of communist countries. You're not going to see improvements. There's no need because people are going to buy it. So they got monopolies.
Right.
If I had a monopoly, I'd be going from 10 o'clock till noon, and the prices would be very high. Yeah. 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 Right. 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 If there is anything. Yeah. Right.
Hmm.
They're not going to do that, but you're, I think your comments are right on. That's where we should be. And yeah. Yeah. Appreciate the call, buddy. Be good. Bye bye.
Take care.
Yeah, he's paying attention, agitated. I've
Yeah.
mentioned Babbitt a few times, but we not forget that.
Right. Well, it's the way things are. As time goes by, people do forget. It passes into the past. And that was 5 years ago already. 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and that's a long time in the news cycle uh, for to stay in the public's mind. He's right. People do forget things. Go past it.
Mhm. Son Artemis orders a $4 million reward. Pay attention to might be one of the research
Okay.
for who shot my cat.
My cat.
Cat. That's right here in Europe. January 22nd. Animal control responded to a home in Sunset Court in Windsor Avenue after the owner said his cat returned home with severe injuries to its face. Cat's name was Midget. So they took Midget to the vet and they had to euthanize the cat because the cat had been shot in the face. Yeah, it was a rough life for that cat. It was a rescue cat that had to be nursed back to health by the Humane Society after being burned
Ah,
and then shot in the face.
what?
Well, the owner.
There's nothing to say. What is this?
I don't know. It's horrible. But the owner offered him $2,000 reward for information linking the rest of the person responsible for the cat's death. The Humane Society matched it. They put up $2,000. So it's a $4,000 deal.
You said 4 million.
No, 4,000.
I was like,
Yeah,
somebody really loved
already.
Yeah. When you started seeing, they posted 2,000. I was like, and then there's a GoFundMe that raised 4 million.
No, it's 4,000.
Okay,
I said 4 million. These are bigger numbers.
But still, that yeah.
Well, the Humane Society is aware of these frustrations and stuff. And that executive executive director of their Humane Society, nice lady. Melissa shooting an animal in the face to ultimately be put to death is cruel blows against the law.
Yeah.
Oh my
and according to all the movies, the indicator of potential psychiatric issue.
Yeah, you think there's a problem?
Yeah.
There's recently been another cat that was shot with an arrow and killed. Why? I'm not a fan of feral cats. I don't like them.
The rodent population.
I'm not going to start shooting them.
Right. Yeah, and then what were they shot with? If they were shot with a BB gun, maybe they think
it doesn't say. It just says shot in the face.
And the arrow, maybe it was a target arrow, and they didn't realize it did that much damage to a cat.
Yeah.
Who knows? But even if you did it accidentally, you say, "Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Shouldn't have done it." But yeah, if you did it intentionally. That's
There's
that's
a phone number. You can do anonymous tips too. You call them like if you have a friend you don't
terrible.
like. Say, yeah, Chris did it.
But only do that if they actually did, because otherwise that's a crime too.
Oh, it is. It is a crime. Yeah, start doing that stuff's a crime too. Absolutely. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Create another one. Although I'd like to have my business partner have the cops come over and say, "Why'd you shoot the guy?" And see if he's, how'd you know? You know, let's find out.
Yeah, I just can't comprehend people that cause harm to animals.
No, it's terrible. Hey, other humans, I don't know how I got humans this morning, but he played guilty of vehicle theft, faces 6.5 years in prison.
Is this?
Guy named Miguel Angels P, 41 years old.
Uh-huh.
He was burglarizing and stealing cars out of Mason Hill School.
Huh.
Sentencing is not going to take place until March 3rd. They the legal exposure to the case is significant. He's presumed sentence is 6.5 years in prison, with a minimum of 4.5 and a maximum of 13. Bad dude rolling around. I mean, in neighborhoods and nice neighborhoods, it's just infuriating.
Well, any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, these are. I mean, it's out in the foothills, quiet.
I know. Yeah.
Get your way,
Soul is
all that.
you know, they're built around the golf course. It
Yeah.
must be a fancy neighborhood.
But I'm glad they picked him up.
Yeah.
They found it. I see Mason Hill residents, vehicle owners called geolocation reinforces several practical considerations. Recovery stolen property can depend on timely reporting, traceable documents such as VIN number. You know VIN number anymore?
No.
You can get it from your insurance. Your insurance company has it.
You get it from your windshield.
What's the stolen windshield?
No.
You have to call them up and say, here's the VIN number of my car. Well, what is it? I don't know. I can't get it in the car. It's on your insurance. So you get that. But hopefully this guy stays in jail. Nothing about where he lives or anything. But so according to the report, he was arrested in April last year after authorities found stolen property and items linked to numerous burglaries in Mason.
So this is his career.
I remember one time I lived in Mason, and there was this big deal of mail being stolen.
Oh yeah.
A few years ago, but just taken out. Remember, that's federal crimes. And that's more sentencing stuff. There's a lot of people in Mason Hill probably getting checks in the mail or something. I don't know. Maybe they were doing something with it, and they did all that. And they have. I had a mailbox when I lived in Mason Hill, so it was out on the curb. Didn't have any locks or anything. You know, you didn't get a key.
Right.
Just walk up and open it.
Yeah, the old
like I lived in Mayberry or something.
well, that's how it
They
all
worry about
yeah.
They worry about that stuff.
Nowadays, you steal the mail, you're getting the junk because
Oh my gosh, don't get
who uses the mail anymore? So
well, it's handy at times, maybe, but mostly, I don't know what the percentage is. It's got to be like 90% junk.
it's all junk. Yeah.
I don't even like it. I mean, I take a trash can to the mail because I don't even want to bring it in the house.
Right.
I don't even want to look at it.
Well, they had that episode of Seinfeld where Kramer wanted to just cancel his mail service, and Newman, you can't. It's the mail. And then by the end of the episode, he's like, "All right, just fill out that form."
Yeah, the mail, unfortunately, has grown into a horrible.
Well,
our tax money.
Yeah, I do think it's necessary. We need to have a way. Communication is so important. We need to have all kinds of different forms of communication available to us.
Sure.
But we need to change the way it's happening because it's not the way it used to be. We're not getting letters, and bills, and all kinds of important correspondence.
Technology changed things, and rather than say, "Wow, we need to make changes to adapt," we say, "Well, let's do a lot of junk mail, so that we can justify our jobs."
Yeah.
And they do the junk mail at a loss. It doesn't matter. They need to have jobs.
But then the campaigner is like, well, those campaign mailers are an important part of the campaign.
The campaign mail is just because it's so cheap.
Right.
And it's so cheap because taxpayers are subsidizing it.
Yep.
Oh, they said, it's technically in the business it's run as a business, but it's not allowed to because if somebody says, well, we need to consolidate some of these post offices, the Congress says, no,
You can't do it.
no. What else? Well, we want to raise.
Because we got 2 here in Yuma.
Yeah,
We don't need 2.
no, a lot more now we start including the private ones, the private ones.
Well, yeah.
That you can go out to. And you got one in Welton that should have been closed. And the reason they kept it open, and a lot of people say, well, it's just such a part of the community. People hang out there and stuff.
Nobody hangs out in the post office.
Well,
You're frustrated having to wait in line.
they do it in Welton, I guess.
That's weird.
But if you need stamps, you can just send an email or text to the post office or whatever, and they'll deliver them.
Really?
Yeah, you can buy them online, and they just deliver them in the mail. It shows up in your mailbox.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you don't even have to go in.
Wow.
And anytime I don't have to go in, I take
That's a good thing. Yeah.
stamp all you don't care. Mr. Gilbert, how are you, sir? Don't you get him riled up. What? Yeah. Uh-oh. Wow. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. I've heard that. I've heard that same thing from a lot of Hispanics that, Spanish is first language. They couldn't understand it. Oh, good. I didn't either. Oh, no. Well, yeah. Now he's going to call and say something about you.
Right.
And I'm going to be in the interview. Get me out of it. Just call him. I'll give you his number. You just call him. Yeah. You know you're going to call him, right?
Yeah.
You know. Okay. All right. I'll give him your number. Yeah, you can handle it. I know. He's got a motorcycle. You two should go riding together. You both have 3-wheel motorcycles. Yeah. That's it. You see, you guys got something in common. You should go out and do that.
That's also in common, yeah.
Right. Now there you go. There you All right, buddy. Be good. All right, bye. Gilbert could get me in trouble. Take a break. We'll be right back.
Sunny today will hit 80 this afternoon. Partly cloudy at 60 tonight. Winds will pick up on Friday. Clouds will increase and cooler. 71 the high Friday. Northwest winds at 10.
Says I got echo.
Partly cloudy 48 on Friday night. Mostly sunny 78 on Saturday.
This is as real as it gets. Get out, get kids up.
Twice something came up that reminded me of an article. I tried to look up the article, but got distracted before I did, and I keep forgetting what article I'm going to look at.
So why not make life better for you? Get Strive
Well, don't do that.
Financial.
Write it.
I hate it when that happens.
No fuss, no monthly fee. Over Open and start free checking today at avenuefinancial.org. Certain restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
It's 2026 midnight at the Oasis Car Show. March 10th. Say that. Show off your ride. Make it free route. Then Friday through Sunday at Anderson Stadium, witness over 1,000 John's big cars. Jam out with 6 main bands, including Rock the Street Cat. Capital Sunday as we see the best of the best in our open show. Tickets on sale now.
All right. Are you a fraud being American? One in 4 taxpaying Americans have been a victim of identity fraud. Now, with LifeLock, if your identity is stolen, they will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Last year, billions in refunds were stolen. Now, could be from your salary or overtime or a second job. It's gone. But this year, you do not need to stay a victim. Save up to 40% off your first year. Use the promo code Hannity. Just go to lifelock.com today.
Ah, the most beautiful time of year is upon us. Tax season. And Tax Slayer is here to help you file. We guarantee 100% accuracy and your maximum refund. Those are some good numbers. And you can trust me because I'm a talking calculator. Did I mention Tax Slayer even has support from real US-based humans? If you have any questions along the way, beat the rush and start for free today. Tax Slayer. File fearless. Ah, the most beautiful time of year is upon us. Tax season. And Tax Slayer is here to help you file. We guarantee 100% accuracy and your maximum refund. Those are some good numbers. And you can trust me because I'm a talking calculator. Did I mention Tax Slayer even has support from real US-based humans? If you have any questions along the way, beat the rush and start for free today. Tax Slayer. File fearlessly.
Are you a fraud-paying American? 1 in 4 tax-paying Americans have been victim of identity fraud. With LifeLock, your identity, if it's stolen, they fix it guaranteed or your money back. And last year, billions in refunds were stolen. Could be from your salary, overtime, or second job. Gone. But this year, you don't need to stay a victim. Because this tax season, fraud-paying American is something no American should have to claim. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK. Visit lifelock.com. Terms do apply.
There's a man in the sea. He stands 6'3". He's fighting for you.
Hey, I'm 550 KBL. You Russ Clark with you. Chris is there.
I'm here.
Chris Larson. It's being for prescribed burn today at the Imperial Refuge.
Okay.
So expect some smoke.
Yep.
Maybe it come.
Well, they do those on days where the air conditions are such that the smoke should rise up and be out of the way. So
That's the theory.
it should be okay. But,
You never know.
yeah, no.
The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services, they announced it. So if you have smoke and you want to complain, call them.
Yeah.
But every year they call a lot of firemen. They call all kinds of people when
Yeah.
they see it. But yeah, most people have been here long enough are used to farmers burning off fields
Yep.
or this kind of burn, and they do this because you get so much overgrowth there. Once in a while we have an out of control fire.
Yeah.
Because there's so much fuel, they try to keep it under control.
Yeah, I've done that on my own property before, just to, you got all the dry brush from,
Yeah. Do you go get a permit?
I
You do? Yeah. Well,
I know the
If- if-
procedure for getting a permit. I'll say that.
if you don't, you could cause yourself some trouble.
Yeah.
If you don't.
Yeah, we had a neighbor a few years back that was burning brush on his property, and my wife and I are sitting in the living room. We look out the window and we see the fire moving. Because he was 2 doors over.
Right.
It's moving through the empty lot between us, and I'm like, huh,
I think
that's not good. That's a problem. Fortunately for us, I had already burned the brush on my property,
Right.
so it stopped
You had a fire break.
at the edge of the property. Yeah, and it just so happens I had had to regain control of my burn,
Right.
a few days before. But I did, so I wasn't in trouble. But Rural Metro showed up with this other guy, and
You got to pay for that.
Yep.
If you
well, there's a fine for it, and you got to pay for Rural Metro coming.
right, but if you get a permit and all,
Then you don't have to.
well, you're going to be more protected.
Yeah.
And Rural Metro will get a notice that you
Yeah.
have a permit and all. I don't know if that stops them from coming. I mean, it can still get out of control. But I don't know what the requirement is, but I know anytime farmers burn, there's all these trucks around, water trucks with sprayers and stuff.
Well, there's
to
certain
contain.
days. There's certain days that you're allowed to do it, and then even on the day, you have to call in the morning to make sure that the weather conditions are haven't changed, and
But
otherwise, they're like, yeah, sure, go ahead.
it can be dangerous.
It can.
Just know what you're doing. You're fine, man.
Yeah.
Let me see. There's a lot in here about the Bureau of Land Management. The Colorado River District has conducted prescribed burning at Mitchell Lake, and they've had out of control fires. So
Yeah.
they try to keep them down. Walters Camp, Blythe. I see quite a few others they've had in the past, but this one's going to be Imperial Refuge. So, but they said it can blow here. So if you get some smoke, take a look and make sure it's really a problem before you call 911.
Yeah.
Although 911s know there's a burning going on, so they'll chat with
Yeah.
you. So,
Well, and then it could get out of control, but all they have to do is call the people that are running it, and they'll be like, oh no, it's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
we got some states here that are suing Health and Human Services.
Okay.
A lot of lawsuits all over the place.
Yeah,
It's just nuts with all this stuff. J.D. Pritzker is one of the states, that because it's in California, Colorado, Illinois, and Minnesota. Those 4 states, they don't like Trump anyway.
Right.
And Trump has cut some grants to those states because they're not handling them properly. Is the theory. That's not what the lawsuit says. The lawsuit says that it's because he doesn't like us. It's arbitrary. But the Trump administration, they said the Trump administration has targeted the states, California, Colorado, Illinois, and Minnesota, because of political animus and disagreements about unrelated topics such as federal immigration enforcement, political protest, and clean energy. And that's what the lawsuit says. You're just doing it for all the wrong reasons.
But even if he was doing it for those reasons, is that illegal?
Well, it's not a case of legal or illegal. It's like they want the courts to say you can't withhold the money, you got to pay it. That's what they're looking for. Trump said starting February 1st, and this was on a January 13th speech. Starting February 1st, we're not making any payments to sanctuary cities. He said that in Detroit. He says because local authorities are not cooperating with federal immigration agencies. Such cities do everything possible to protect criminals at the expense of American citizens, and it breeds fraud and crime and all the other problems that come. So we're not making any payments to anybody that's for sanctuary. Well, he said that back then, and I guess they're using that in the lawsuit. Well, that's the reason he did it, because of what he said is all that. HSS, Health and Human Services, is not commenting on. They said the grants are inconsistent with the priorities. They don't comment beyond that because of the lawsuit. And we know that some of these states have had huge fraud. They're getting grants that are going to all the wrong things. Don't know if it's involved with that. They don't give any great details on it. But HHS provided a link to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention to their webpage that lists the CDC priority, which include modernizing public health infrastructure and not supporting illegal immigration. So and it doesn't come out and say that that's what these states are doing, but that's
and the CDC would have concern about illegal immigration because people come and by bringing all kinds of diseases without anyone being aware of. So even the CDC has a dog in the race as far as immigration is concerned.
They do. The grants,
a big issue,
which are the backbone of the plaintiff states' public health infrastructure. I guess they rely on it.
The state said in a motion of a temporary restraining order while the case advanced. Without them, plaintiff states would have the diminished capacity to track disease outbreaks,
Yep.
maintain and improve their data system, collect public health data. So what? I mean, if you're not using the grants for the benefit, I mean, for what the grants are, and I don't know that to be the case, but if that is the
If
case,
that's the case,
it doesn't matter. State officials said they'd be forced to lay off hundreds of workers. Well,
if they're not doing their job,
if they're not doing what the grants required, then
yeah.
but that's her.
Well, and even if they're doing it, if other things that the state is doing is making that effort ineffective, because we have the everything else out of control, then no, get control of things and use the money the way it's intended.
Many other state grants slated for termination fund disease surveillance. Do we need disease surveillance? I mean, don't the hospitals alert us like, hey, we just had like 4 patients with some disease. We need.
Well, that they have to maintain the way that it's reported and stuff. I guess I don't know what the procedure is in the process.
They do outbreak tracking and other data collection, and the data's lost too will be impossible to replace. I don't know which data we need. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know any of the details in any of this.
Oh no, they're not giving us great details. They're giving us the arguments, which will be interesting to see where it goes and what it is. But the targeting directive is arbitrary conspiracy, is unconstitutional, violating federal law and the U.S. Constitution. That's what they said in the filings. Of course, it always comes up. Well, it's against the Constitution, but I don't know if they really read it.
Yeah, the Constitution is actually kind of vague.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't think it says that.
Right.
Trump administration is unlawfully trying to stop our own tax dollars from coming back to Minnesota. And this, according to Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison. Minnesota to improve health and well-being across the state. Now, they're one that's highlighted for horrible abuses.
Yeah, that child care issue.
I mean, it's all grant abuses too for child care and other things. I'm sure this. I think because of all that, and they're saying maybe 50% of the grant dollars are going to fraudsters. Buying houses and vacation homes overseas and going to fund Al Qaeda. Not good.
Yeah, and a lot of it is speculation right now, but there's certainly enough there to investigate and find out what's going on. And in the meantime, maybe we don't give you the money and let you spread it around.
Well, the Trump administration has gone and asked for records.
Yeah.
Show us, and
Which
they're not.
should be.
Well, it's not
If
because the state's not turning them over,
right.
At least in some cases that I know about. But the requirement of getting the records and making sure that the grants are used properly is up to the state. Minnesota showed that they're not doing it,
right?
Because the fraud has gotten so deep and so widespread that they're not following the procedures. And in fact, one of the Minnesota lawmakers said that, well, this can't be because we inspect those every 6 months unannounced to make sure that they're doing all the right stuff. Well, they were supposedly inspecting every 6 months. These places have been open for many years and didn't have the facilities, didn't have the playground, all the stuff that was required. We've had some of them say, well, we're not even open until 2:00. Well, according to the grants, you have to be open at 6 a.m.
Yeah, and and we keep saying Minnesota that's
just one
where we have
about.
the evidence.
Yeah,
but
that's where we know.
then it makes you wonder how advanced is this across the country. So I really think it
scary to
warrants
think.
information. Yeah, it needs to be investigated. So.
Uh,
You mentioned the government's not participating, not assisting ICE. I was just yesterday talking to a border patrol and helping out in LA, keep things under control over there. And they came back because Newsom agreed to release 33,000 prison inmates. They're already convicted of crimes,
right,
who are illegal aliens,
right.
to be deported. 33,000. Why would you, and it still blows my mind. Why would you want to keep them Well, there's bills. That was the article I told you I was trying to remember. There's bills all over the place trying to get it a requirement, or at least give law enforcement permission. I don't know why you need permission, but to report these illegal immigrants that are committing crimes. Those should be that we're looking for. That's what everyone agrees. Oh, well, after the bad criminals, and he's got 33,000. So I ran the numbers. It cost the state of Arizona, state of California, $130,000 a year for each inmate to keep them in prison.
They don't care.
Times 33,000 is $4.3 billion
They
a
don't
year
care.
to hold on to these illegal.
They just look for the feds to bail them out for bad decisions. They look for their taxpayers to pay more, and people are abandoning.
And I divided by the population in California. It's $100 a person a year.
Yeah.
To have these illegal aliens
They don't care.
that have committed crimes, documented, convicted.
They don't care.
For $100, you can send them home
because they're better people than we are.
It's just
that's that thing. And I don't know what's in Newsom's mind.
The presidency,
but the fact that he gave into it, there's probably something he doesn't want exposed, doesn't want done. I don't know. Well, we can't.
He wants the presidency. He wants to start.
Yeah, so he doesn't want
to the middle.
So he doesn't want to have what Waltz is putting up with right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
He doesn't want that. So maybe he's trying to. And we're just guessing because we don't know what's in his mind right now. Other than he wants the president.
He wants the president. That's all.
We do know that.
Yeah. And I sent you that video a while back from the Today last week. I sent you our video from the Today Show. I mean the Daily Show.
Right.
And they're very liberal comedy, political comedy show, but they were absolutely tearing Newsom apart. So I'm really curious what his standing with national Democrats, national level Democrats, because they're getting elected in California, so apparently Californians like him, but
or they have a machine that likes him. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's interesting because he's up there in the polls for consideration for presidency.
Kamala Harris
right after Harris.
The last poll I read, Kamala Harris was at the top.
Yeah.
Anybody but those already on the list was number 2. Came in number 2, and then Newsom.
Oh, was that?
Yeah. Anybody else was number 2.
But then I did see after Newsom there was a huge gap before the next.
So. And they did the same for the Republicans. They did a poll very similar, and of course, Vance was at the top.
Yeah,
but there were 7 people before they got to the anybody else. It's number 2 on the Democrats.
That's crazy.
Anybody else? It's number 2.
And I would think because I saw AOC on the list and things like that. They're only on the list because
like number 3 or something.
They're the only names anyone knows because nobody really stands out as a good leader choice.
They don't have a deep bench.
No, they don't. Yeah, and in fact, they even use that phrase in the article I read. The Republicans have a deep bench. The Democrats just don't. There's just nobody.
But they don't care who's in the office because you can put Biden in there that's obviously challenged, and as long as the Dems get to run things, and who knows who was running the auto pen and everything else for Biden? We don't know. They don't care who it is. Just polish somebody up and stick them in there.
Well, and we've had questionable situations like that in the past where the president, people are like, who's really in charge of this president?
After injuries or strokes or something like that, and who's doing that? It's not.
Well, even when Clinton was in, people wondered how much Hillary was
doing. As much as she wanted, I think. I don't really know.
You're moving like you're sending us to a break.
I am turning us into a break. Yeah, we. Before I forget, I do that sometimes. I'm not. The clock is above my. I have to look up, and instead of
you're getting old, bro.
No, it's not that. It's just it's in a bad place. I'll be back after this with Chris. He's still invited.
Yep.
AM 560 KBLU.
There's a man in D.C. He stands up for 3.
This is News Talk 560 KBLU, Yuma. And says 2 people suffered minor injuries and are in stable condition, and both ships remain safe to continue operations. The cause is under investigation. Matt Murphy, Ukraine has bombed a Russian military storage site containing missiles, weapons, and attacked an oil refinery, while another Russian barrage overnight hit several cities in Ukraine, including the capital Kyiv. An athlete from Ukraine who took a stand against the war was disqualified today at the Winter Olympics.
Vladislav Yaroslavich was considered a medal contender in the skeleton event, but the International Olympic Committee president, who was waiting for him at the start of the course, told him he has to leave the games in northern Italy. His specially designed helmet display of Ukrainian athletes killed as a result of Russia's invasion.
Jonathan Savage, America's listening to Fox News. This president of Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Ben Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G coverage. What? Franklin wasn't even a president. Hang on to those Benjamins. Dial pound 50, say micro, and save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 micro to switch to an American wireless company that's truly unprecedented. Pure.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I am grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Constant application may vary. Online health questions required.
From the News 11th Information Desk, I'm Juliana Galera. A man was flown to a Phoenix hospital after being involved in a motorcycle crash. The police say the 21-year-old man was riding a motorcycle and he crashed into the back of the car on Avenue 3E, next to the Marine Corps Air Station Yuma. The man was taken to Ogden Health and later flown to Phoenix. Officers believe speed led to the crash. The 25-year-old man in the car suffered minor injuries but was not taken to the hospital. Plus, the man charged in a deadly stabbing the 54-year-old man that has now pleaded guilty. 4-year-old Mauricio Robles entered guilty pleas, second-degree murder and second-degree burglary. Robles was arrested in April 2025 after officers responded to a scene where the man had been fatally stabbed. Police say Robles ran into a nearby apartment building and he was armed. He later attempted to escape through the back of the building, but was captured and taken into custody. Catch the TV side on News 11 at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. for your local news. Weather
It's 26 midnight at the Oasis Car Show in Yuma, Arizona. 5th, the 8th. Thursday night, show off your ride at the Main Street Rally. Then Friday through Sunday at Desert Sun Stadium, witness over 1,000 jaw-dropping cars. Jam out with 6 main stage bands, including Lee Rocker of the Stray Cats. Cap it all off Sunday and you see the best of the best at our awards show. Tickets on sale now.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3".
AM 560 KPLU. Russ Clark with you. Chris here.
I'm here.
The FAA is lifting its temporary flight suspension at the El Paso.
Yeah, I just read that. Hours after they said it would be gone, it closed for like what, 10 days?
Yeah,
They opened it up.
it was supposed to be remain in place until February 21st,
Right.
and they don't really say a lot about what it was. They just say it was unspecified special security reason.
But the article I read said they were concerned about cartel drones.
Correct.
Yeah.
That is correct, but that didn't come directly from the FAA.
Mm.
Others are saying that the temporary closure of airspace over El Paso has been lifted. There is no threat to commercial aviation. All flights will resume as normal. And that's a relief because that is not a small airspace.
No, it is not.
No, it's big.
Yeah.
Now the restriction didn't include over 18,000 feet, so it didn't work. I mean, it didn't hurt
No, so the
aircraft flying over
airliner.
flyovers and whatever. They kept going, but the amount of business that was lost because this place sees this El Paso International Airport handles 4 million passengers annually, so it's a busy place. It's busier than Yuma.
No.
Yeah, I'm serious. I swear to you. Yeah.
Yeah, it still kills me at Yuma as an international airport.
Well,
that's because it's like 20 miles from the border.
No, the criteria is that they accept international flights because we have border patrol and customs that can go check the aircraft.
Yeah.
That's it. Even if you did 2 planes a day, it doesn't matter. You're international. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Morning, Russ. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Ted. Good morning.
Good morning, Chris.
Yeah, good morning.
Could you give me your opinion on something?
Okay.
Since they're going to try and either get Kamala or the governor there in California to run for a presidential election on the next cycle,
yeah,
they have a guy, a politician there, Sawyer. He wants to build 1 million new homes in California.
Why? There's people leaving.
Affordability. Now, how can a politician run when they haven't rebuilt, I think, one home out of what's burnt to the crisp there?
Yeah.
But he wants to build 1 million homes for affordability to live there.
Since when does it have to make sense?
Yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. They can promise whatever they want, but they don't back it up when they're elected anyway. So
yeah, Trump's the only wacko that does what he promises.
Well, I know that. But I'm just trying to figure out that they've let those people leave and they've flooded into our state and other states, bringing that mentality with them.
Well, I think what's going on over there, they haven't built the Palisades,
right?
Because they said originally, at least it was said in certain circles that they're not going to rebuild it the way it was. They want to put in like condos and stuff for poor people on those very expensive lots, which I don't understand. So they haven't been issuing permits. So I'm just wondering, but maybe that's true. Which doesn't make sense.
The people still own the land.
Well, they do, but if you can't build,
on it too?
Yeah, they have to pay taxes. But if you can't build, they'll eventually become something else. Maybe.
Well, remember what I told you they did in Fairfax County along Route 1 and all, from Fort Belvoir all the way to Alexandria? They went in there and put condemnation notices on all the land that had been families for, at least 7,500 years.
Yeah.
And just took it.
Yeah.
On condemnation notices or acts.
Well, I don't know what they're doing in Palisades, but you're right. They're not letting them build.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous what's going on in California. And with so many people leaving California and the illegals being arrested, well, why do they need more homes?
For the illegals. Or I'm sorry, the new voters.
The new voters.
The new constituency, yeah.
Look, buddy, if you called U-Haul and say, I want to move to L.A., those people are going to cheer like, wow, we've never had that.
You'll take a vehicle back to California for us?
Yeah, wow.
Thanks.
But where are they going to put all the trash, all the toxic materials and all from all these lots, houses that burned up and all? Where are they going to put it?
I don't know.
Well, they got the ocean right there.
Probably ship it to Arizona. Well, that's bury it.
Yeah, that's all we need is more tires buried in the field.
Yeah, they will.
No, I'm just was curious about what you thought about politicians that said stuff like that.
I think they're liars, and they don't really understand what's going on. And it's not unusual. I mean, did Biden understand what it was to be president? And maybe at one time he did. He didn't when he got elected. I don't think. I just think they don't know, and then the machine runs it for you.
Well, and it's the socialist attitude of the Democrats anyway. You know, well, I'm going to build houses for you. I'm not going to, expect you to earn a living and buy a house or pay somebody to build it. I'll build it for you. You can move in.
Do you remember the Democrats going nuts when Trump was first elected in 2016 and saying he's just a businessman, he just does real estate, doesn't know anything about being president, doesn't understand. How many times did they say that about Mandami, who's like, what, 30 years old and never done anything in his life, lived in his basement? No, he could run the largest city in the whole United States from his background, and Trump couldn't run the president from whatever. But it's just ridiculous.
Obama was a community organizer.
Yeah, he still
that
is.
was his qualifications, a community organizer.
Now he's got 30 dead people on his hands in New York City from people dying
from the cold.
Dying. Yeah. Instead of trying to get them in some kind of shelter, he just let them die.
He'll figure out a positive spin on that at some point. Maybe. I don't know. It's just a mess. It can be cleaned up. It can be taken care of. And I see great things happening under Trump, but we've got these islands of people that says, no, we don't want good stuff. We want this. And they're going to hang on to it. It's America, man. You can vote a Mandani in if you want.
Yep.
Live with it.
And then when things go to crap.
Yeah, don't expect the feds to bail you out. You look at who's in the White House. Feds aren't going to jump in and write you checks.
well, I just hope everybody around here just sees what's going on and not let that occur here.
Yeah, we should. We hope that's the case.
Well, the problem is the people coming out of California are coming in here.
Exactly. Remember what I told you how you pollute the vote, how you pollute the constituent. Remember I told you that how you pollute it.
Yeah, but
it happens everywhere. They pollute the vote.
I haven't seen a lot of the numbers lately, but I know at one time the registered voters out of California were more heavily Republican than Democrat when they registered. Yeah.
But they let their state get like that.
Yeah.
But the Democrats are staying in California because they love that socialist stuff.
They're scared to come to Arizona.
Well, maybe they can all live on the Kardashian and Diddy's property, Sean Combs' property. Maybe they can live there with them.
Good luck with that. Yeah, going. You're saying the land stolen from the Indians. I'm gonna look on
that. Oh yeah, that's the best one.
Yeah.
I mean, the Indians were stealing land back and forth from each other. I mean,
yeah, they were. Yeah. Yeah. All right, buddy. Appreciate the call.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Take care.
What is that artist name? I don't remember.
Billie Eilish.
All right, Billie Eilish. Very famous, very, very successful. Great artist. Just keep the mic out of her hands. You know.
Till she's singing.
Yeah. And then we find out that her mansion, which is like a $20 million mansion or something.
It's
all gated and all that stuff. And it's uncontested. Well, contested by the native populations.
Right.
I know that was
what I read, the tribe wasn't an officially documented tribe, but they're still
they don't really
and stuff. But all of the land in the United States eventually would be traced back to a Native American somewhere. So but that's what happens when you conquer a territory. It used to be theirs. Now it's ours.
I've probably lived in 20 houses that used to be mine. Heavy emphasis on the used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of every country that's ever existed. You move in, you take control. That's ours now. It used to be yours. Now it's ours. And I think the reservation system was a huge mistake.
Really?
Yeah. Because it doesn't encourage assimilation. It doesn't encourage the people to continue to grow and develop.
True.
They just sit back and relax. And I know many Native Americans who agree. They're like, yeah, it's a horrible system. They got out of it because they didn't want to be.
Ask ChatGPT what percentage of Native Americans actually live on reservations. I doubt that it's very high.
Yeah.
But it's deal made a long time ago
Yeah.
that it was like that. And I don't know if that's something.
Well, and it was made a long time ago. 'Cause that was the trendy theory at the time. We're going to be nice,
Separate nations.
Yeah. And it
And
failed, and then so we don't do that anymore. But because of the laws that were set up, the treaties that were, we still have the system.
Yeah.
But it clearly didn't work, and not to say the United States was perfect on our side. It was a bad idea to begin with. It was run badly.
I understand we
and
broke a few
has been.
treaties.
Yeah, and
We did.
but the outcome would, I think, still be the same, even if we did it properly. You have people that have no motivation. We talk about the socialist societies and the communist
That's
societies.
because
They don't need to progress,
Right.
and so they don't.
Yeah.
And that you steal somebody's reason for purpose, and they just vegetate. They just
average age of people that live on the reservation is very poor. They
the
don't.
average income.
Huh?
Said the average age of people is poor.
Yeah. Oh no, the average age is poor. I mean, of dying. I mean, before you.
Oh yeah,
life expectancy.
life
I'm sorry, life expectancies have been poor. Just the health thing isn't good. The diabetes is huge and all that. But
Well, it sounds cliche, but alcoholism is
Yep.
documented as a huge issue.
yeah,
And then along with all the other mood altering drugs out there. But it's just there's nothing good that comes out of the reservation systems that I've seen.
oh, I don't,
Unless you
I don't
like
know that much.
unless you
about
like
it,
casinos right around the corner.
Casinos good.
Yeah.
They do well
Um,
with those.
And
It's a big
occasionally
money maker.
I'll go, but where's the money go?
Back to the tribe.
Yeah, and so they can sit down and do nothing.
I don't know if that's.
It-
I mean, I think there's a lot of that because it's like a commune. It's kind of
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying.
you
It's
get
like
to,
the
you get to live
socialist
there.
communist society.
Kind of like the
There's
people.
always a few, there's exceptions to every rule. So in a communist and socialist society, you're going to have a few that are like, no, I'm going to make something for myself. And,
Well,
within the system,
and I've known
and you'll have some of those on the reservations, but for the most part,
and I've known a lot of successful people from the reservations. I
Yeah.
have, but I don't know the numbers. I don't know
Yeah.
percentages. I have no idea. Have you been watching the Olympics?
no. I did see some of the curling.
No, really.
I like
Why would you
curling.
do that?
I've
You really
liked
like
curling
that?
for decades, long before any of this political stuff.
That's one of the silliest games.
I don't know.
But,
It's shuffleboard on ice. It's cool.
with
With brooms.
I know. It's crazy.
But the downhill skiing, I saw clips of that. That's exciting.
We've been
just
watching so many
great.
ice skating and
Ice skating is
Normal-
awesome.
If it weren't for Helen, I probably wouldn't be
Yeah.
watching it.
I
but it's
really
good.
enjoy
It's very enjoyable.
a lot of the winter sports. It's just now you have to go to the streaming service. It used to be on, you turned on the TV, back when there was the 3 channels.
I think it's
You
still
turn on the TV, you were going to get it. Now you have to actively go to it, and I don't actively go to it.
I
so,
do. I mean, I don't have regular TV. I don't have NBC, CBS. I don't have an
yeah,
aerial
neither do we. We have the,
cable. I don't even have really
we
cable.
stream. Yeah.
I just have internet and I have computers that find what
You gotta
services I want.
go to Peacock.
Yeah,
to watch it
Peacock
right
is
now.
exactly what we use. The reason I'm bringing it up, the U.S. Olympic women's hockey
Mhm.
beat Canada 5-0,
Oh,
which was kind
wow.
of like a big deal.
Yeah. Just to score 5-0 in hockey is a big deal.
1-0 is a big deal.
Yeah.
5 is very dominant.
Against the Canadians?
Hey,
What's that about?
and yeah, the relationship between Canada and the United States has been strained.
A little bit.
Yeah. So there you go out on the ice field, on the ice, taking it away from you, Canada. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Whoa.
Trucker, man, where you been?
Well, I can't listen to your show anymore. It's not because you
Streaming.
open up the laptop and
Yeah. Hopefully we get that fixed soon. I don't know, but
I was going to suggest there's a lot of stations that let other people stream them, and then they throw in their commercials. Like you'll turn it on to listen to the station. You have to listen to a set of their commercials,
yeah.
and then you go to their show, and their commercials come up. Let's take the place out of Houston, Eagles. their commercials come up every hour, so you listen to twice the commercials, but it's free.
Well, the station here though is not streaming it to anybody, so
Right.
they can't let anybody do it. They don't even set up to stream anymore.
Well, yeah, what happens is you can't build your show or syndicate it nationwide when that's not happening.
I know. Well, I'm still doing Facebook and X, YouTube, but
Sure.
and you can get that in your
The
truck,
good old
man.
days of listening to Russ Clark kick around you, and well, you know what I mean.
I
It's
do.
just I do miss that.
I think it's a horrible decision, but it's one I live with right now, and we're looking to get that reinstated.
Well, you can easily triple your listening audience just from streaming. You know,
I agree.
commercials. That's where the money is.
I agree, man. So you're in town today?
No, I'm actually in Vegas.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
What prompted my call is late last night. I'm listening to a senator or a congressman on Las Vegas talk show bitch about El Paso,
The airline?
the airport. He mentioned a couple items. First of all, Democrats don't like being kept in the dark, and they can't keep a secret. So if you want something to run smoothly, you can't tell them any secrets.
Right. Okay.
So what he's complaining about is they don't know what they shot down, and he knows they didn't use bullets, and he doesn't know what they used.
But somebody knows.
Furious.
Yeah.
Yes, but he's furious because he's a Democrat and he does not know.
Well, it's a need to know, and you don't need to know.
Yeah, they're not telling me. They're not telling me either, and I'm not even a Democrat.
But I was thinking maybe you had something to add to this. You know, maybe we're leaving out a lot of facts here, but I can tell you that when you're in El Paso and you sleep with the windows open, you hear AKs going off in Juarez.
Yeah,
I have heard that many times.
Yeah.
That Juarez is pretty rough, pretty wild.
Yeah, you can see the flashes from across the river.
Yeah.
So the locals admit that something got shot down and they didn't use bullets. Don't you think that's fascinating?
I do. I'm curious.
Yeah, I know it was. The rumor is, or the things I've been reading is it's cartel drones. But to shut down the airports for 10 days, to say they're going to do it for 10 days, really? I mean, why? I mean, that's what's puzzling to me. Is puzzling because if there's drones, they got the capability to track them and see them. But did they feel that they obviously felt there was a danger to aircraft, or they wouldn't have done it?
Well,
And why
at
10
least
days?
it's not. They didn't do a Biden option where you let it go all the way across the U.S.
Yeah.
Bouncing on the same thing, Maduro, as you know, sent airplanes over towards our carriers before he was taken.
Oh yeah.
And
Russ,
they're recording. They're recording the airplanes losing capacity to steer themselves. Now, in the past, they could jam the weapons, but now they're losing capacity to fly the airplane, and that's a new technology. And that's got to be right up there with what went on there at that El Paso airport, because they're not using bullets.
Well, the drones they can incapacitate those if they're being controlled elsewhere because it's radio signals, and they can do that. I don't know how they do it to an active plane. Now, active planes, a lot of them are fly by wire, which means it's not a cable that runs the controls. It's small motors and stuff.
Maduro flew some Russian planes, some F-14s and 15s. And he never intended on firing on them. He wanted to sell to other countries what happened. But anyway, what's unusual is the pilots recorded the fact that they could not operate the airplane, and then just before they lost control to the point they were going to crash, our people let go, turned off the system.
I've never heard that before. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Now we
Turned
know
off the system, so we didn't try to kill them. We just scared
Let
the
them
shit
know
out
we
of them.
could.
just that was a warning shot.
Yeah.
And obviously
Yeah.
we took Maduro and we used some kind of energy weapons of some kind, or sound weapons, and disabled probably 100 or so troops. So they were incapacitated, and we just picked them up and took off.
Over 1,000 lay on the ground, incapacitated, kind of like a stun gun.
Yeah, bleeding out of their nose and ears and stuff. Yeah, not pleasant.
Multiple eyewitnesses. So I don't believe this is a rumor.
Yeah.
Right. But and you were saying that this the senator was outraged that nobody told him. Well,
Yeah.
there's things that the government can do that we don't know about it, and we shouldn't know about it, because if we know about it, so do our enemies. There's a certain amount of trust that we need to have in our government.
But you can't tell the representatives,
But the
and senators,
Democrats don't want to trust. Yeah.
because they would tell everybody.
Yeah.
Exactly. They run exactly. How do you operate a bit speed? The senator even went out and said, "We're dealing with incompetence here," and I'm thinking, no, this is the opposite.
Yeah.
The way the law is written on this, or the rules, whatever they are, is if the president doesn't attack like they did in Maduro, they got like 24 hours or 72 hours or something to inform Congress of what just happened.
Right.
Which they did. But then now they say, well, you need to tell us first. Well, there's no rule like that.
Right.
That doesn't exist.
Obama and Clinton did this stuff all the time. I mean, with what the technology they had at the time, the list is endless.
Right.
This is not a new, hey, only Trump does this.
No, everyone. They've all done it.
But this is all for political reasons. Nobody knows that, but people that read. So I guess their constituents don't know.
I do think this stuff is fascinating.
It is, yeah.
It is. I've never heard about taking control of aircraft. I'll call YPG and see if they've been testing them. What YPG will never tell me anything. But
not officially.
Just the fact that they turned off their weapon and let the guy go home, they were trying to kill him.
I don't know how they do that. I'm trying to think of what it is. The drones, I understand, interrupt the signals, but I don't know how they do that to a plane that's coming in that's not getting the signal from the ground. It's working internally, but who knows? There's probably some scary stuff out there. And Trump keeps saying we got stuff you don't even know about.
Yeah.
That could fall right into line with how do you stop the supersonic missiles? Because bullets, we're going too fast. The bullet is very hard to shoot it down. But this stuff here we're talking about, goodbye supersonic missile.
I'm sure since we build supersonic missile, we've always worked on countermeasures.
Yeah.
But you can't use laser because supersonic missiles are traveling so fast they have to be heat resistant, and the laser's not going to cut through it. It'll hit you before they get cut through that.
Absolutely, you are correct.
Yeah.
They had concluded that that's not a laser.
No, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Well, now you got me.
If I was Putin or China, I'd be thinking twice.
Yeah.
Before I do anything.
Well, Putin has already proved himself ineffective in Ukraine, so I don't think he has any interest in taking on the United States.
They're watching. They know what happened in El Paso. They know what happened with Maduro.
Yeah.
They are sitting up.
It had to be more serious than a cartel drug drone, because look, we have cartel drug drones coming over all the time in Yuma. They've caught them, they've shot them down and stuff like that, and they never close airspace. So this one is something special,
something different happened.
Yeah.
He said that. He said this happens all the time, and we always know what happened. In this case, nobody is saying anything, and that's what was upsetting them. He admitted they had the right to do it, but the fact he didn't know anything, that's upsetting.
Wait, tell him to just shut up, do your job.
It's probably an Area 51 kind of situation.
He doesn't have to tell him. But the drone had to be something scary. Because they don't care about these drones that are coming over dropping drugs. They shoot them down regularly. They take care of it. But something had to be scary but you look at drones that's going on in Ukraine and Russia. Those drones are scary. They are destructive and scary, and the fact that they could fly those across our border and do something is scary. And I don't know if it has anything to do with that. That's the only thing I can think of.
The destruction that these drones did in Ukraine and Russia, they're so small.
Right.
These are not big, powerful bad boys. They're small.
No. A lot of them are very small. These anti-personnel drones are you just pick them up with your hands, throw them up in the air, and they take off.
Yep.
And they'll zone in on a person automatically and attack them.
Yep.
Yep.
I just did a quick Google.
Yeah.
It says that they used a high-powered military anti-drone laser to shoot down an object that they thought was Mexican cartel drone, but reports indicate it was likely a party balloon.
A party balloon.
Yeah.
Well, let's shut down the airspace.
So that might explain why they reversed themselves on
No,
shutting down.
that sounds like an Area 51 report.
That's what I'm.
You know, somebody put, it's a party balloon. Yeah, I don't care. They didn't shut it down for a party balloon. I appreciate the call, buddy. Good to hear from you again.
Hey, have a great day.
You too, bye-bye.
Okay, man.
Yeah, that's more than a party balloon. It's like, remember when Area 51, the story, stories?
Yeah.
After the shoot down, everyone was freaked out, and the colonel came out and said, it was holding up pieces of it, saying it was alien bodies, it was all kinds of stuff. And like the next day, it says, "Oh, sorry, it was just a balloon."
Weather balloon.
Yeah, weather balloon. None of that existed.
Have you been to a Roswell?
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
cool. I love it.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I've always told stories to my daughter when she was little about me being abducted, which I don't know if I was or wasn't abducted, but I definitely have a day in my life that disappeared.
Interesting.
Parents couldn't find me, nothing. Day in my life. I walked out of the house in the morning, like always. So I'm going outside like on a Saturday morning. They didn't hear from me all day until dark. And then I came running in the house and bees were stinging me in my back. And they're like, "Where you been? Where you been?" I said, "Bees, bees." So I lift up my shirt and says, "There's nothing on your back. What are you doing?" And I still remember it. I still remember that feeling. And I had to run in the bathroom and pull my own shirt up to look in the mirror because I was sure bees were stinging me. And then I was confused, and my parents saw I was so upset. They said, "Well, don't worry about it. Just go to bed." It was bedtime. So the whole day was gone. I never thought anything about it until Art Bell show one night. Say, if you're missing a day, you could have been abducted. So I told my daughter, that was me. I was abducted. So
this explains so much about
this explains a lot about me. But we were driving one day out in the foothills, and there was a military exercise or something with helicopters with lights and everything. And I was in a convertible, my wife's convertible, and we were driving along. And I grabbed my daughter and I said, "Get on the ground, it's them, they're back." I did not realize. Oh my gosh, I apologized for that like 100 times.
She's scarred for life.
She's still scarred over that. It was 20 years ago, man. She hadn't forgot about it. Can't believe what you did to me, Dad. And I went to Roswell. I flew in there. I flew my small plane in there. I landed, and I got her a few alien artifacts there. Like stuffed toys and stuff. She wanted nothing to do with them.
Oh no.
No. That poor girl's scarred, and I screwed her up. I'll be right back.
Truckmates, Yuma's Fix Up Your Pickup Truck Store is Yuma's home for snug top shells and lids. Snug top, designed and manufactured to the highest standard. Industry-leading quality and trend-setting design to protect and complement your vehicle. That's Snug Top. Truckmates is also the home of Expert Spray and Bed Liners, spraying mil-spec protective coatings, committed to unwavering excellent and unparalleled customer service. Expert Liners, with available national warranty coverage and installed by Yuma's most experienced spray-on team at Truckmates. Truckmates is also the home for BDS suspensions, the highest quality aftermarket suspension lift kits, leveling kits, and accessories for 4x4 off-road trucks and Jeep enthusiasts. And don't forget 3M window tinting, the originators of window tinting with nationwide lifetime warranty at Truckmates. That's Expert Spray and Bed Liners, BDS suspensions, 3M window tinting, and Snug Top, all at Truckmates, 32nd Street, next to Lowe's.
What's up, Yuma, and hello, Russ Clark Show listeners. Johnny Porter here, and I just made the switch to Allo Fiber, and it's a game changer. Lightning fast speeds for streaming, working from home, and gaming. No buffering or slowed down speeds. It's time to ditch the glitch and switch to Allo Fiber.
Mostly sunny today. We'll hit 80 this afternoon, partly cloudy and 60 tonight. Winds will pick up on Friday. Clouds will increase and cooler. 71 the high Friday. Northwest winds at 10 to 15. Partly cloudy 48 on Friday night, and then mostly sunny 78 on Saturday.
This is as real as it gets. Get up, get kids up, feed the dog, feed the kids, out the door, work, pick up kids, dinner, Ask, bed, repeat. You strive all day to make life better for them. So why not make life better for you? Get Strive free checking at Avenir Financial. No frills, no fuss, no monthly fee. Open a Strive free checking today at avenirfinancial.org. Certain restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
Ah, the most beautiful time of year is upon us. Tax season. And Tax Slayer is here to help you file. We guarantee 100% accuracy and your maximum refund. Those are some good numbers. And you can trust me, because I'm a talking calculator. Did I mention Tax Slayer even has support from real US-based humans? If you have any questions along the way, beat the rush and start for free today. Tax Slayer, file fearlessly.
Listen to KBLU from 8 to 9 every Monday morning to Life, Death, and the Law. Sean Butter and Adam Hansen discuss estate planning options. Learn how you can plan an estate using a will or trust to protect your family and secure your legacy. That's Life, Death, and the Law every Monday, 8 to 9 a.m. on 560 KBLU.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3". He's fighting for you.
Hey, you, Russ Clark. Yeah, it's 7:36. Larson's here.
I am.
I'm going to mention Bad Bunny, which I think is ridiculous. The whole thing's ridiculous.
I just think it was just a bad business decision.
Yeah, Bad Bunny, bad business, whole same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, NFL's responsible for that. It's not anything but NFL.
And I had heard of him before because I taught in the high schools, and they were all excited about Bad Bunny. I didn't know who he was, and I didn't care. I'd never heard his music before, and turns out he doesn't sing in English, so I wouldn't understand his songs anyway.
He didn't
So
even
it
sing in
didn't-
English on Super Bowl Sunday.
No, and okay, that's your choice.
And
as
he
an- as
doesn't
an artist.
like the United States.
But I don't understand the NFL saying, all right, the vast majority of our customers are white people that don't speak Spanish. Let's bring in a Spanish-only singer.
Yeah.
I did it.
Well, they're looking for
I don't care about the politics.
They're
It
looking
just
for
didn't
new
make
customers.
sense.
They want to expand internationally and all that. So they're kind of doing a Bud Light thing. Like, well, I know we got great Bud Light customers, but we want something else. So they pissed off the Bud Light customer.
Yeah, I didn't understand.
Well, the some of the numbers are in, and it was so weird after Bad Bunny because you go on social media and all the left was like, best show ever. It was wonderful. He's
I
brilliant.
did find it was interesting that they did a wedding during his halftime show.
Yeah, but is that what I really want to do?
I thought it was interesting. I was like, that's cool, but yeah, I didn't get the rest of it.
That wasn't that entertaining.
Yeah,
but
it was on, but I was on my phone.
But it was boring. The audience. I mean, have you seen anything from the actual field? People in the audience were just standing there like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Well, the ratings have finally come out.
I didn't. Yeah, I did not find it as because I've seen some of them. I don't usually watch the halftime shows, but some of them have been so exciting and interesting and
some have
lots of
been
dancers
fabulous,
and that one just seemed like.
Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Well, good morning.
Hey.
How are you, Danny?
Good. Long time no speak.
Yeah, man. You've been busy.
No, I've been listening to the river, bro.
That's a good station.
I said, don't blame you.
Yeah, I'm on it all the time.
Hey, you know something? Hey, I want to just chime in here real quick. Once that Bad Bunny started walking and doing whatever he was doing, I in the sugar fields, I turned the station, man. I couldn't stomach that.
Yeah, well, you were not alone in that. Many did the same thing. That's what the ratings are showing right now.
I mean, it's again. I'm thinking, like you said, he wants to expand, but I think they're already expanded.
Well, we don't have football, NFL in foreign countries, really. I mean, we've had exhibition games in Mexico and England and other stuff, but it's not really exported like it was, like they wanted, I imagine. They think Bad Bunny will be their ticket. That's the ticket to get the youth coming in and to get, which ain't going to work.
Right.
Ain't going to work.
The game itself is enough to bring people in.
If you just play football.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's crazy, guys. It's crazy. I don't get it.
I think it was a big mistake. It actually alienated a lot of people.
Yeah.
They seem to not care. Like,
Well,
well, we'll alienate a few, but we'll get more than that. Well, it did get more than that.
I'm like, who's this BB? This Bad Bunny. I mean,
Oh, you're cutting out.
It's a bad name too. You got a bad connection. Uh-oh, Danny, I'm losing you.
are you there?
There he
Yeah,
goes.
now I am. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What you said? I was like, who's this Bad Bunny guy? And then when he started monkeying around, I hung up. I mean, I didn't hang up. I changed the channel.
Yeah, I don't think anybody ever understood him. I got the transcript afterwards, and the transcript is vile. In fact, the FCC is looking into it to find.
Oh, really?
Oh God, yeah, yeah, it's vile, sexualized and all that stuff. It's a family show. It's very vile, and yeah, Glenn Beck's talked on it, and others, with some of the language. I didn't know what it was said, so I guess if it's in a mumbling in a foreign language, you can get away with it.
But isn't he from Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is an American territory. So that makes him an American citizen.
Right. But he certainly didn't act like an American citizen.
Well, it depends on your definition. I
Yeah,
mean, the
he
definition
did
of
what he
American
wanted to
citizen is different for different people. But,
Well,
we're a melting pot, but assimilation doesn't seem to be the program as much as it used to be, which is unfortunate.
I guess it's all in the way you interpret it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. You talk to the left. In fact, they were trying to convince that was Bad Bunny trying to convince that we're all Americans all over the world, type stuff. And that's why they had flags from all these foreign countries.
Well, yeah, it was all the Americas, North and South America.
Yeah.
Did you say you get the ratings out?
Ratings dropped. Yeah. Lower than expected, lower than past years. And depending on which rating people you look at, it was worse. But Nielsen, I guess, changed their way of methodology of checking. So all the live shows actually have been a big increase because they just count it differently. But even doing that, they still dropped.
Yeah, well, the game itself was lower, even not just the halftime
Yes,
show.
yes, it was.
Why don't they just play rock and roll? They have rock and roll bands up there again.
It's too popular. It's too easy. We want to venture into other stuff.
I wonder. You know what Roger Goodell should do is have a census. Ask people what they thought of that stupid thing.
You ought to have a retirement party, buddy.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all he needs to do. He doesn't care about what people think, obviously.
No, obviously, exactly. Well, you must have a lot of money to do this stuff.
Well, it's the NFL money, so and they say they probably lost billions because of revenues that come in from advertisers are going to be lower than expected.
I don't know. All right, guys, I'm going to go.
See you later, bud.
Seems like a situation. It seemed like a good idea at the time, kind of thing. But
Well, he was getting panned long before the show.
Yeah.
Like when they first announced it, people were like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? You lost your mind." And he says, "No, it's good for us. We'll get more views."
and it split politically.
Oh yeah,
and I
it
didn't
was
understand
Democrat,
why.
Republican, which is ridiculous.
I didn't understand. I was like, why would you have a non-English speaking singer
And you got
at an English speaking?
you've got guys like Joe Scarborough saying, it was the best show ever, and he's the most popular in the whole world. And if you don't
He
get
is.
it, then you're a problem.
Yeah, he is. He is.
One of
He
the
is
more popular, yeah.
popular. Yeah,
Yeah.
but among a certain group of people, and they were not the audience.
Yeah, so I imagine that's the Joe Scarborough's list now on his iPhone to listen to Bad Bunny every day. I don't know. Somehow I doubt that he does.
I don't.
You think he would? I don't think he speaks Spanish. But apparently,
Now, I did like Selena after the movie came out, and
Oh,
'cause
she's
I didn't know who
wonderful.
she was
Yeah,
before,
wonderful lady.
and some of her songs were English,
Yeah.
and I enjoyed those. And so then I would read the translations of the songs she does in Spanish, and I would learn those lyrics phonetically. I didn't speak Spanish, and then that was fine. I enjoyed that. But if I
But he
have no
didn't.
connection to this Bad Bunny guy,
But now he was promoted for months. He was promoted on Apple.
Right.
Apparently, people are on Apple kept getting listen to Bad Bunny, listen to Bad Bunny, listen to Bad Bunny all the time. They paid for tons of promotions for Bad Bunny. And now that it's over with, his songs are not being asked for on Apple like anything they would. In fact, he's not even in the top. He's in the top 20. He's got one song in the top 20. The people that are on the top charts are the alternatives, like Kid
Right.
Rock and all those guys are all in the top 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, stuff. They've all rocked. And Bad Bunny is not showing up like he should with all the advertisement and all that stuff. He's got one song that's 18, I think, is what I heard.
Well, and he probably had the same idea that we were saying the NFL had. They wanted to expand their audience. You know, he was like, "Oh, this is a great opportunity to
Oh
expand
my
my audience."
gosh, it is a great opportunity. I
But
mean,
I don't think it did. I think the people that liked him before
it didn't do it to what he was
are
looking
still
for.
no.
But according to one source, Samba TV, which measures the numbers of households and all that kind of stuff, for their tracking, there were 48.6 million households watching the Super Bowl, which represented a 13% decrease.
Right.
Now, the Super Bowl's numbers are different because Nelson's doing a different way of doing it.
Well, and people are like, "Oh, I'll watch it tomorrow or something else."
And additionally, the dip in viewership during halftime show was clearly visible.
Okay.
Viewership dipped to 88% when Bad Bunny took the stage, with some viewers stepping away during the performance. And you could see in the stadium itself, people were looking bored. They were
Oh, yeah.
standing there like, what the heck is going on? And a few drunk girls were dancing, but that was about it. And
But they didn't care who was singing. They were just drunk girls dancing.
the Nielsen rating said there was 128.2 million listening at halftime, but they have a different way of counting it now.
Right.
So who knows? I mean, how do you count it? Is it per TV? Do you average it? Okay, every TV we should count as 10 people or something. I don't know how they do it, but they changed it. All the numbers are higher for Nielsen. I guess that's why people use Nielsen. I want higher numbers because advertisers pay according to the listeners and stuff like that. But afterwards, you know, when you look at the Spotify's and the Apples and all that, Bad
Didn't
Bunny's
have
not
any.
getting the hits.
Hmm.
The people getting the hits are the ones that were on the American show,
Hmm.
the halftime with Kid Rock.
The Turning Point one.
Yep, the Turning Point. Those are the ones that rocked it. And Turning Point's coming out saying, "Man, it was such a success. We've already made plans to do it next year."
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they only had a short time to get this done, and they did it pretty
Yeah,
quickly.
they did throw it together at the last minute.
They threw it together. Now they're going to do a bigger production.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah, and do it. I think they should do it at a venue where there's thousands of people. This one that they did, it was not that big a venue. They could do a big one. I mean, people would buy tickets to go in and see it.
But yeah, they could be watching the
Super
Bowl as if they're in a stadium doing, you know,
Yeah, and then
in
have
a stadium,
have a decent
getting the benefit of that, paying $20 for a beer
I
or
wonder what
something
that
like
would
that.
cost them to stream that for a big venue. I imagine that would be expensive, but bars do it
But
and everything.
but people would be buying tickets. It would be a moneymaker, I'm sure, because people
Well
will get the experience of a stadium event.
It's
'Cause
already
at a stadium, when you're watching the game anyway, you're watching it on the screen because you're so far up, you can't see what's happening on the field anyway. So I think people would go to that to watch it
Yeah.
and get the
Well,
experience. There's
see,
only so many
and
getting the assholes to it.
NFL did this to themselves,
Mhm.
you know, by doing that.
Yeah.
They've left that door open.
Yeah.
So they may do a big concert and who knows?
Well,
Who
and the
knows what they do.
way people stream things nowadays, after the fact, people could be like, "I don't have to pick one. I can watch
know
one at the time and watch the other
You
one
know,
later."
that would actually be fun if Turning Point did like a stadium type deal, which had more room, more elbow room,
Yeah.
maybe even indoors, like one of these like hockey stadiums.
Yeah.
And do it indoors and broadcast the football game, like a big football party.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
seeing it.
and then
I want credit for the
and
idea.
then at halftime have
Their
your own
own show.
entertainers, your
Yeah.
own shows. That would be
And
interesting.
since they don't need the to have the field for football, they could have the field, they could have the stage much more elaborate
Yeah.
than they could at the, you know, it could be a crazy show.
Yeah, of course, it's only a half hour, but that's what theirs is anyway. But that thing, it could all be set up, so you're not spending setup time and tear down time.
Right.
You could stretch it out. a little
Everyone's
bit.
having a good time watching the game, and then boom, right into the show.
So I'd go to that because to
That'd
go
be
to
fun.
the football game,
That's crazy
that's
expensive.
tens of thousands of dollars, man, anymore. It's just so outrageously expensive. They could do this much cheaper and throw in a concert that makes sense instead of the NFL halftime crap.
Well, most of the NFL shows are, you know, make sense, but yeah, this one just did not make sense at all. So.
But now Turning Point,
It was funny though when we were, cause, you know, it was on at the house, and I was just doing stuff on my phone. I wasn't even really paying attention, and then somebody said, "Hey, that's Lady Gaga." That was the only point
Yeah.
of interest
Yeah.
that anyone mentioned throughout the whole show. Hey, Lady Gaga.
I bet they could. I bet you know if they took a building in Phoenix, you know, it had 5,000 to 8,000 seats and threw a big party, but they could
That'd be
sell
cool.
tickets to
Yeah.
that.
The question would be, would they get the rights to do that from the NFL?
Well,
They'd have to,
the bars get right, so it'd be the same thing. I mean, they can't discriminate against them, I don't think. I don't know.
private business. They can do what they want.
That's up to the lawyers and all that. But a lot of these fields, I mean, they all have these big jumbotrons and all that. That would be just interesting in sitting down in someone's living room.
Yep. I want to take credit for that idea. I want to see it happen. That'd be cool.
To go ahead and take credit for it. I think that's fine. Hey, Burgers and Brew, BBQ and Brew Festival is returning.
I didn't even know it existed.
It's been coming back around for a long time. Yeah.
Because I go to the Tamale Festival every year. Love that.
Yeah. This one's
barbecue festival. That sounds fun.
It is. Barbecue and Brew is coming to downtown Yuma. And they bring in a lot of people across the state, particularly across the state, that are brewers to test the brews, and they added barbecue to it. So it's going to be barbecue festival. It's on downtown Main Street.
When's that?
February 28th this month. It's coming up.
2 weeks from this Saturday.
And it's full day.
This Saturday is.
Yeah, it is.
Is it Saturday?
It's the 14th. What is
Yeah.
day? Day's the 12th. It's in 2 days.
It's
man.
Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, you better be ready.
And then 2 weeks later is a barbecue festival. That's cool.
Yeah, then you get to go to that, and it's going to be like a couple bands: Big Bad Wolf, Bobby T,
Bad Bunny,
Trejo, well, Bobby Trejo. I can't pronounce the other one. Nashville 90, Bad Bunny. He's going to be in there. Yeah. A tribute to Keith, Toby Keith, and of course, I like the venue downtown.
Yeah.
This weekend will be Mardi Gras. They're going to be there.
Oh,
The
right.
Rotary Club's been doing for 25 years.
Really?
Yeah, and they're going to be, I think, 6 live bands and 2 bands at a time, one at each end.
Oh, really?
yeah,
That's cool.
And jumpy jumps for the kids.
I always like when the lowriders show off their cars, and they're always at those
there.
events. I love checking out.
Well,
the
they're going to be there this weekend, and that's all free. They close
Yeah.
downtown off, and they have all these different vendors cooking different barbecues, and
I'm looking forward to
and
it.
that's something. That is a good radio. Well, this one's another one. It's a barbecue beer brew festival. It's going to be a great opportunity for the community to come together and enjoy great food entertainment downtown Yuma. We're excited to welcome competitors and residents back for another year of this event. Promotional material and local guides encourage residents to come hungry, bring your friends and your family, and plan to explore Main Street. It's going to start at noon and go to 9 o'clock.
Cool.
So you got that to do on the 28th. Don't forget that. Put that down.
I love when they have 28th. You said the 20th.
28th.
I love when they close off Main Street and do things like that. It's just, it's always a good time. Every time that they have something happening down on Main Street.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know who puts those things together, but they do a great job. I always have a good
Well, you have to go through the city to get the permits and all that stuff. And they built Main Street for this. That's why it has very limited parking and all that. Now, if you park your car there, and they'll put up signs, like this Saturday, we're going to be no parking. They'll tell you. They have to tell people all the time, you can't park there.
Right.
They start doing that well before the event so that but sure enough, someone leaves their car there and forgot they left it there. And you have to go to the impound yard and find it. We don't want that happen to you.
And there's so much parking behind the buildings.
Well, that's the main.
Go over there.
That's the main parking. That's where you need to go. Yeah, so you can go this weekend and you go in a
So you
couple
got
weeks.
Mardi
on the
Gras
20th.
this weekend.
And then in 2 weeks,
And
this one,
barbecue.
28th. Yeah.
That's cool.
President Trump has reinvigorated coal.
Coal.
We know coal was on the outs. They had to get rid of clean coal.
Right.
We closed the coal plant, burning plant in Arizona, which was in northern Arizona, and that's after they put in millions of dollars of scrubbing and all that stuff. We actually do have a lot of clean technology within the coal plants, but they're working to do more. Trump says about the coal plants, it's their long-term power purchasing agreements with the military. He's doing purchasing agreements with the military to buy coal for a lot of good reasons. He says it's more reliable power, stronger, and more resilient grid power. That's why I'm so pleased. Well, unlike wind and solar,
right? Which is
it's on, it's off, it's on,
yeah.
off. Nuclear is great.
We really need to delve into that more.
Yeah,
deeply.
especially fusion. Although, to my knowledge, there's no fusion plants in the United States. I mean, they're still working on getting that perfected. They've been working on it for decades.
Well, yeah,
to get that perfected.
That's how progress happens. You work on it, and then when you figure that out, you'll work on the next thing.
They've spent tons of money on that. He said, that's why I'm so pleased to announce in just a moment I will sign an executive order that directs the Department of War to work directly with coal plants on the new power purchasing agreement, ensuring that we have more reliable power, stronger and more resilient grid power. And we're going to be buying a lot of coal through the military now. And it's going to be less expensive and actually much more effective than we have been using for many years, many years. The executive order strengthening United States national defense with America's beautiful clean coal power generation fleet. I like how he says it's beautiful out there.
He's very descriptive with his language.
The United States must ensure that our electric grid remains resilient, reliable, and not reliant on intermittent energy sources, calling the grid the foundation of our national defense as well as our economic stability. It is the policy of the United States that coal is essential to our national and economic security. Under a section titled Power Purchase Agreement with Federal Installations, the order states that the Secretary of War, in coordination with the Secretary of Energy, shall seek to produce power from the United States coal generation fleet by approving long-term power purchase agreements with coal-fired energy productions facilities to serve Dow installations. Dow is Department of War.
Oh,
I thought it was
okay.
Dow Chemical.
Dow.
No, it's
I was
Dow.
thinking Dow Jones.
No, Department
Okay.
of War or other mission critical facilities. Coal is so critical to our national security, vital to everything from steel production to shipbuilding and artificial intelligence. And I know this is all new. I mean, he's been hinting at it for a while. I haven't seen what the Democrats say yet, but I'm sure they're going to be vibrating on that. You know, to them, fossil fuel is evil, and coal is the top of the fossil evilness.
Right.
Fossil fuel evilness. Because it historically is very, like the old locomotives and stuff where they put raw coal in the burners,
Right. You got
all that smoke, kind of nostalgic, but
But-
not good for us.
Right. And since it was an issue because they closed them down and people haven't been talking about them. I read an article and I confirmed it with other articles. The biggest it depends on how you define the climate influencing industries. Always near the top or at the top is the cosmetics and health and beauty
Plastics.
industries.
Cosmetics for oil.
No, well, no, there's
coal?
all the the health and beauty stuff section at Walmart.
Yeah.
All that stuff, the production of it, the transportation of it, the growing crops for this, that, or the other, making the plastics and so on and so forth. That has a bigger impact on the climate and the environment than anything else.
I've never heard that before.
I was amazed. I was like, "You're kidding."
How could that have a bigger?
I don't know, but I read the article. I was like, "That's crazy." I Googled. I saw other articles all over the place that confirmed. It depends on how you define the climate influencing elements. It's either the top or in the top, few. And so when I see somebody that's all dolled up getting on the screen saying, "Oh, we got to shut down coal," I'm like, "You're a hypocrite." Because you're participating in the industry that's the bigger influencer and trying to shut down another one.
They're
That's
wearing
not.
makeup?
Yeah.
All right.
I've always said, makeup is the first lie a woman tells you. But, I just see no value in that all the way across the board. And then you throw in the, women wear all, drive the fabric industry, the textiles. You look at any store. It's all women's clothing, and then a little section over here for men's clothing. That all has to be manufactured and products raised and transported, and then they throw them away without even wearing them.
Well,
all of it has to be disposed of and burned.
We can learn something from the
That's
Amish.
another big
Make your own clothes and no makeup.
There you go. Agriculture is the number one cause of climate change.
We
if you're
have
gonna
to
say-
eat, dude.
Yeah,
Okay.
but by doing agriculture, it allowed our population to grow exponentially.
Can I tell you that climate change is a lie anyway?
This is News Talk 560 KBLU, Yuma.
This is a Fox News alert. An ice pullback in Minnesota. I'm Dave Anthony.
I have proposed, and President Trump has concurred, that this surge operation conclude.
That's Borders our Tom Holman. After all the anti-ice protests over immigration enforcement tactics and 2 deadly shootings in Minneapolis,
As a result, Minnesota is not less of a sanctuary state for criminals.
citing unprecedented cooperation with local officials apprehending those here illegally with criminal records, and they'll continue going after those immigrants.
Law enforcement officers drawing down from this surge operation will either return to duty stations or resign elsewhere to achieve just that.
This is Democrats keep demanding ICE reform, including unmasking agents. Ahead of a deadline to fund Homeland Security by tomorrow night, Senator Mary Kelly says,
well, I need to see, a significant change in this agency before I'll approve any funding for it.
A vote for DHS funding today in the Senate is expected to fail. A collision in the Caribbean involving 2 U.S. Navy ships during a fuel and supply transfer. There were 2 minor injuries. The ship was part of an advanced U.S. patrol targeting drug trafficking boats. On day 12 of the search for Nancy Guthrie, deputies in Pima County, Arizona, and the FBI are now testing a pair of black gloves found a little more than a mile away from Nancy Guthrie's Tucson home. And TMZ says they've received another message, this time offering to name the kidnapper.
And for the price of 1 Bitcoin, that person will disclose the information.
As TMZ's Harvey 11, 1 Bitcoin was trading at more than $68,000 this morning. The authenticity of that letter has not been verified. Says Evan Brown. A win for President Trump as he sues the BBC for defamation. A federal judge refusing an attempt by the British broadcaster to delay the case, setting a trial date for February of next year. The president wants the BBC to pay him $10 billion, alleging in a documentary about the 2021 Capitol riot it edited his speech that day. America's listening to Fox News. This president says Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Ben Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G coverage. What? Franklin wasn't even a president. Hang on to those bets. Dial pound 250, say micro, and save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250, micro, to switch to an American wireless company that's truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. After my husband died, the last thing I wanted to think about was money. Ethos made it affordable to get life insurance. Signing up was fast and 100% online. I knew that I could pay our mortgage and have food in the fridge. I could focus on my kids. No one ever tells you how much you're going to depend on that policy. I am so grateful we had coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. An application may vary. Online help.
From the News 11 Information Desk, I'm Juliana Aguilera. A man was flown to a Phoenix hospital after being involved in a motorcycle crash. Police say a 21-year-old man was riding a motorcycle and he crashed into the back of a car on Avenue 3E, next to the Marine Corps Air Station Yuma. The man was taken to Juan Vita Health and later flown to Phoenix. Officers believe speed led to the crash. The 25-year-old man in the car suffered minor injuries but was not taken to the hospital. Plus, the man charged in a deadly stabbing that left a 54-year-old man dead has now pleaded guilty. 34-year-old Mauricio Robles entered guilty pleas to second-degree murder and second-degree burglary. Robles was arrested in April of 2025 after officers responded to a scene where the man had been fatally stabbed. Police say Robles ran into a nearby apartment building, barricaded himself, and claimed he was armed. He later attempted to escape through the back of the building, but was captured and taken into custody. Catch us on the TV side on News 11 every weekday at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. for your latest local news, weather, and sports.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3".
Hey, I'm back. You, Russ Clark with you. Chris Larson's here.
I'm over here.
And I have a caller. You're on the air.
Russ,
Hey, man.
Ted again.
Ted again. What's up?
Hey, you're going to hear the cow today from the news and everything. How they forced Homan and ICE and the president out of the crime scene.
What crime scene?
Minnesota.
Well, they
No.
didn't force anybody out, did they?
Yeah, that's what you're going to hear. Oh, it'll be all over the View and everything. They'll break in everywhere. Homan's pulling them out. President said, Homan and Hensley, get them out of there.
100%.
Yep. So you're going to hear that cow calling all day long on the radio, on the TV, and
Well,
all.
it's just 700 agents, not all.
Yeah, they fall. They're backing down. Oh, they can't. They're criminals. Get them out of there. The Gestapo's leaving. You'll hear it.
But you won't hear that there's the Minnesota finally agreed to assist ICE.
Well, I knew that.
The local police. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Minnesota immigration enforcement surge is ending, Trump border czar says. Well, it's ending. Maybe they got their mission done that they were looking for right now. I don't know.
But you'll know that you'll hear it. You'll hear it all. The legacy media. Oh, they backed down. Oh, they stood up for their state, and their president and the Hogan's leaving.
According to Homan, Minnesota's become less of a sanctuary state since local officials have cooperated more with federal immigration officers.
And that's the key. That's what makes it work.
So they've been able to greatly, but I knew they already reduced 700 because of that.
Yeah.
And they've been making the rest.
And maybe this pulling federal funding out is helping too.
But Homan said that Immigration and Customs Enforcement has always had a presence in Minnesota and will continue to have one. A small footprint of personnel will remain for a period of time to close out and transition full command and control back to the field office. So the field office isn't leaving.
No.
Right.
They're just not going to have that big surge.
This is a victory for the Democrats, man. You know it.
I don't.
No. They're going to think of it as one. But, yeah.
I mean, well, he said the surge is ready to end. But that means there's going to be a surge somewhere else, I'm sure.
Yeah. Trump has said that. Yeah, we're just going to move on somewhere else. Yeah.
Put his tail between his legs and run it. And they got him. They forced him out.
Okay.
They stood up to him.
I'm sure we'll be seeing that.
Yeah.
I mean, the View will run it. But so watch the View for me so you can tell me, okay?
Yeah.
No.
Or
tell them to watch it for me, and then I'll tell you.
Okay.
All right. I just want you to find that good.
Absolutely. Thank you, buddy. Take care. Let me see. That was Ted.
Yeah.
And I did read that Homan did say that this morning that the surge will be drawing down because we've accomplished, and Minnesota is now stepping up and helping.
And
just like California did.
Yeah, you talk to any law enforcement agent, Border Patrol, ICE, and what have you. When they're working together, good things happen.
Yeah.
When they're
like they did in West Virginia. They had a surge there that only lasted 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Russ. This is Dave.
Good morning, veteran Dave.
Just want to call you real quick with the El Paso airspace. Remember that the El Golfo cartel operates in Tamaulipas, Ciudad Juarez, and all that area, the Gulf cartel. This could be an indication that we're ready to take care of business, with some surgical strikes. And they're really keeping us on the dark on this, but that's what I'm.
Well, they're saying
it was a party balloon.
They said it was a party balloon, but I don't believe it. Yeah.
Sure it was. We did things in Iraq and Afghanistan that the media never knew about. We didn't have media with us when we did operatives out there, and things that happened, out there, and they never reported a lot of things. So just like UFOs, it's always a party balloon or a weather balloon. But anyway, I've seen a UFO myself on patrol one time in San Bernardino County. I was going to call it in on my radio, and I was with my Sergeant Harvey Walker, may he rest in peace. But he grabbed my hand and says, "Don't call it in. Don't do nothing."
Yeah. A lot of paperwork for nothing.
Yeah, a lot of paperwork. It was a large, triangular craft that floated over us with no sound, and it was back in the 90s, and it was just impressive.
Yeah.
And I just go, it's got to be a secret Air Force aircraft. But anyway, I never called it in, never put it on the computer, and for obvious reasons. But no, I just wanted to call you real quick too. You were talking about TV. One of the things, Russ, that I do is I put up an antenna, like the old-fashioned antennas from, from back in the day, and I get 22 channels, digital crystal clear, and I get all the local channels, Telemundo, all those Univision, and then I got a lot of religious channels, and then one of them is the Western channel, where they always have wonderful old, Western movies and
John Wayne stuff.
Yeah. John, you got it. And they, and it's crystal clear. It's free. I just ordered one of those old fashioned, antennas. If you get the ones that you put on the windows or those portable ones indoors or whatever, they don't work that well. So you just put the old fashioned up there. I had a handyman get up on the roof. I got those, one of those famous, not as big as the ones from the 70s, but I get really good reception. And my neighbor doesn't even have cable. I don't have cable, and I just watch regular TV. And I agree with you all. What gets me with all these sports things, we used to be able to watch them on ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox. And now you have to pay, all these people that want to watch an NFL game for Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, or baseball, whatever. You got to pay. You can't watch it on free TV. That's another thing that turns me off about these professional sports. It's ridiculous. How can a family watch? Pay for extra on cable to watch. Sports. It should be on regular free TV.
Right.
So anyway, that's all I had to call about. And you guys have a beautiful day.
Appreciate your call.
Take care.
Bye bye. As a veteran, Dave.
Yeah.
I don't think he believes the balloon story either.
It doesn't sound like it. No. But yeah, the antennas work great when they work. It depends on where you are. We had it for a while, but there were days when you weren't going to get anything. So that we switched to streaming. But yeah, it was really nice when they were working, you could watch all kinds of different channels. They had very specialized channels.
I had an antenna in my motorhome that worked fine.
Yeah. So
I should put one on the house. Although we don't watch that much TV, and I definitely don't watch. I don't. I watch stuff off the internet. Yeah. I mean, I'll watch some YouTube stuff, and I'll watch some other programming. But I don't. I have Prime on Amazon for movies and stuff.
And we use Netflix.
I don't have Netflix.
What frustrates me, like you said, you got to pay to watch some of these things. Like Netflix, you pay and you're watching, you don't get commercials and stuff. But on some of them, you pay and you still have to watch commercials, like Hulu or something like that.
Yeah.
Why am I going to pay for the opportunity to watch commercials?
Yeah. You watch less commercials, maybe. I don't know. I don't have Hulu anymore.
Well, I rewatched MASH from like the 70s.
Yeah,
right?
Great program.
It's been paid for a long time ago. Everybody has, some of the, they're not even getting royalties anymore. Their estates might be getting royalties because everyone's dead in it. But I was like, they were still showing commercials, and as many commercials as they would have showed when it was aired.
Well, they're still paying rights. They're still paying to put it
not
on air.
nearly as much as they need to. I was like, I'm paying for the service to watch something and then still watching commercials.
Then it bugs you. Then don't watch it.
But I wanted to see MASH.
Okay.
It's such a good show.
That's fair. I was talking about the military doing the coal.
Yeah.
Well, Trump was doing all that, talking about the coal goal. Well, I can't now because I do have a phone call. I left the phone on, so let's take that. You're on the air.
Good morning. This is Sandy.
Hey. Good morning, Sandy.
Hey. Hi, Chris and Russ. I wanted to add to the conversation on Bad Bunny.
Okay.
And yesterday, O'Reilly was on Hannity's show. And O'Reilly said that he heard that Apple donated, sounded like $100 million to the NFL on the condition that Apple control entertainment at halftime. And I don't think they just meant that one game. They want to choose the entertainment they think that young people around the world will download on their Apple phones. It's a way for them, Apple, to make money. And Goodell is not a good guy. He hasn't been good for for our country and the NFL for a long time. He's like a puppet. And it's probably true.
But that makes sense because Glenn Beck talked a lot about Apple and stuff too. Or I've had others on. Gino was talking about it. I think you sent that to me. That Apple was putting the advertising for Bad Bunny continuously all the time, and yet the sales for the watching of the Apple, when the hits and all that, Bad Bunny, the highest one he had was like number 18 on one of his songs, where Chris Rock had a resurgence, and all the people that was on the alternative halftime show were all in the top 5. Kid Rock, not Chris. Kid Rock. Kid Rock.
How did Chris get in
Yeah,
the
he didn't get involved. He just got slapped. So that's all. So it's not even working for Apple. Apple is trying to promote him big time, and he's not getting the surge at all. The people in the alternative are getting the surge.
Well, they even talked to a lot of football players, and they said, interviewing them, says, I don't know this guy, and I don't know Spanish.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the Bud Light thing, and it makes me really sad because I grew up, even, of course, I've got family members, coaching, playing football and stuff, and I'm not real smart on football. But I grew up enjoying watching it. And it's like they just keep destroying stuff. And it actually, was created in America. And to actually, even though the guy's from Puerto Rico, the whole idea of I'm not going to sing anything in English and F you to everybody is kind of like what he's saying. It just is sad to me because it used to be an enjoyable entertainment that families, it was also more affordable. They could go to the games or they could stay home and watch the game and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And Goodell just keeps making decisions that destroy it. And it may not be all of his fault, but somebody is just destroying it for the American public. And I know a lot of it's because I'm an older person. Maybe they look at us as, well, we're going to be gone, so we need to get these young people. I don't know. It's just sad to me.
It is sad. I just brought up Apple's top 100. In the top 10, they're listing Bad Bunny 7 in the top 10. But according to Glenn Beck and others, that's not reality for what they're really doing. I wonder if that's true. I don't know.
Well, they may be lying and putting that out.
They got a lot of money wrapped up in Bad Bunny right now.
Right. And he may not be the only entertainment they're looking at. I don't know if this is planned to do like all of the halftime shows. And I don't know really how. I was trying to think it. Most of the time when I watch football, other than Super Bowl, I don't even see big halftime shows.
Yeah.
Maybe at the playoffs they do.
I Googled the agreement with Apple and NFL. They've actually been in agreement for the last 4 years, and they have one more year for that agreement.
Really?
Yeah. But
so
yeah,
they've been in
they're the
agreement
official
for 4
sponsor.
years, and I'm thinking back, oh my gosh, 4 years, this guy destroyed everything. If you think back, It's just too bad. It's too bad that they would do that.
Well, they got one more year of that agreement, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Well, if Goodell's still there, he would cave.
I hope he's not.
Well, I hope we get somebody who's more pro-American. And I didn't watch either halftime show other than clips of the Turning Point. I just couldn't watch the Bad Bunny thing at all. And I didn't watch a lot of the game because they've been turning me off. They've just ruined it for me.
Yeah.
But on the Turning Point USA was very America oriented. And it was just like somebody said, just let the people from the United States, even though he was from Puerto Rico, but the ones that are like pro-America, put on a really good show.
Right.
And stop this kind of crap. But I know it's they think somehow that they're going to make the entire world love NFL. And maybe they will, but this is not working because they're turning off a bunch in the United States.
I keep looking at
So
these charts now, and I'm seeing Bad Bunny all over the Spotify charts, all over everything as the top. I don't
So,
believe it.
well,
And
maybe
yeah,
it
they
worked
could
for
be
him.
paying for that too.
and Glenn Beck said it's not, the game's totally different, but it shows streams for Bad Bunny are off the charts. Who's listening to that?
The younger
And,
people.
and is this global? Oh, it's global.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Apple thought that this would do it for them. Somehow they make money from that. So maybe with all the controversy, maybe people are listening to it from other countries. Maybe people from this country, the younger generation.
Yeah.
It just doesn't fit for me. I'm not interested in it at all. And maybe they know that. And they go like, hey, you don't matter anymore. We want to reach these younger people. But I don't know that that's going to turn younger people into football watchers.
Yeah,
You know,
I do think it was better for the music side of the equation than it was for the football side of the equation.
that could, and maybe that's all Apple cares about.
Well, I'm
And
sure it is,
Goodell can't think through that. He's not a very good commissioner. So anyway, I thought I'd put that out there. My husband helped with that. So with my understanding of it. So I want to give him credit too.
Thank you, ma'am. Take care.
All right. You guys have a good day.
You
All
too.
right,
Take
bye-bye.
care. Bye.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to think where I read and heard that report, but Bad Bunny,
Is all over the place.
every chart I look at right now, it has Bad Bunny in the top 5, all 5 songs, 5 different songs of his.
Well, and it, and not just his fans, his fans that he's had, they're going to be listening, and then you're going to have people are like, who is this Bad Bunny guy? They're going to be listening just to find out who he is.
Yeah.
And then you got just random recommendations that are going to pop up for people. So yeah, it's going to have a hit, whether or not it lasts. Who's to say?
I don't know.
It seems clear that it was more beneficial for the music side of the conversation than the football side.
Well, and I didn't see any Chris Rock near the top. Which I'm not listening to that either right now, but that's the way it goes.
He's a funny guy. I like Chris.
Something about Trump on this energy. He said that I'm not a big fan of those crazy windmills that are all made in China.
Yeah.
They're made in China, but not used in China, which they've stated that before, that they don't really put in windmills. They just sell them.
Oh, yeah.
The Tennessee Valley Authority was taking action to save 2 major coal plants, mentioning the Cumberland fossil plant and the Kingston fossil plant. These 2 plants were slated for termination. We're going to save over 450 jobs by keeping them going and going strong. And he's directed the Department of Energy to issue funds to coal plants in several states. In addition, I'm directing the Department of Energy to issue funds to coal plants in West Virginia, Ohio, North Carolina, Kentucky, to keep them online and keep those plants open.
Cool.
Good for him. And says in 1 year, we've already approved over 70 permits for very big, very powerful mines that are going to be with us for many, many years to come. Trump said coal production and generation has increased during his tenure. Since I took office, coal production is up by nearly 4 million tons a month after falling for decades. Coal power generation is up by nearly 15% in my first year. So it looks like he's bullish on coal. And I know the coal technology of scrubbing was tremendous. Like you could go by a coal plant stack and couldn't see anything.
Right.
There's a lot of scrubbing going on and all that now. Unlike China, which has a lot of coal plants, and they don't have the scrubbers. They look like the old coal plants, billowing
right
all kinds
that
of
black smoke.
soot, smoke. Got to wash your car if you live within a mile or two. Yeah, you never know. You heard about the shooting in Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 9 people.
Canadians are supposed to be nice and polite, and I don't think they have gun laws that let them all have guns like we do here.
Yes, you do have to have permits to own a
Yeah.
gun. In fact, the firearm registration for this root seller previously had firearms license but expired in 2024, and I think that's I don't know if it was the one that actually created the mass shooting or not, but 9 people died.
Yeah.
2 were killed at the household of this individual,
Right.
the suspected individual. 18 years old, Jesse Van Rootsteller, appears to be dead from a self-inflicted gun wound.
Yeah.
Now, it's a transgender.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, transgender. Let's see, he attended the school before dropping out roughly 4 years ago. He said he identified as a female but was assigned male at the birth. He began transitioning 6 years ago. And of course, there were 6 people that died in the.
And he said he's 18.
He's 18.
So he started transitioning at 12.
No, he only started transitioning 6 years ago. He did 6 years.
Wow.
And I was listening to a report this morning where there was a pro-transitioning that says the first fatality in this whole thing that I feel bad for is Jesse.
The kid.
Because
Who's Jesse?
because he had to endure a hateful community that didn't understand him.
Jesse is the kid that
shot 8 people and then killed himself.
I can agree that he was the first victim because at 12 years old, that's not his choice to start altering his body.
You
That
wouldn't
was
think so.
His parents victimized him.
So I was listening to a report.
Just the idea that, oh, I'm not a boy, I'm a girl. Just that idea is traumatizing and
You would think
victimization.
so.
And then to actually take action on it, and when he's 12, he was the first victim, and that just infuriates me that they would be even thinking about it.
I was listening to a report this morning about transgenders that create these kinds of activities, and he said he Googled it on Grok, ChatGPT, can't get an answer of what percentage or how many.
Right.
But we've known quite a few of them that have happened within the last 5 years. But the press kind of downplays it generally, or doesn't mention it much. This one, the headline is transgender ex-student, which was unusual. But he said when he finally got the information out, he had to get a listing of all the mass shootings and then go through one at a time to find out if the person was a transgender, because artificial intelligence wouldn't tell him. And he finally.
And the information has to be out there for artificial intelligence.
It is out there. They must be programmed not to produce it.
Or I doubt that, because that's one of the problems with AI is controlling what they learn.
Well, they put
But
parameters on it.
the reporting agencies all over the country have different guidelines about what they put in reports, what they report.
He couldn't get a
how
single
they
one.
report it, so.
And I haven't tried it. I haven't gone on it. He said he tried Grok and he tried ChatGPT and some others. So he went and got it longhand. He got it all longhand. He said something like 40% of the mass shootings in the last 5 years have been transgenders. Now, I haven't verified that number, but it's been a lot. Well, we know there's been some.
Because the other side, they would, I think they would say it too. Look at the horrible life this person had to go through because they were.
So it's not their fault.
Yeah,
they're a victim.
Yeah, and this kid at 12 years old, he was a victim.
Yeah.
But I would think both sides should be wanting to point out that it was transgender, because we're rational people are saying, well, we shouldn't be doing this to people and making them crazy. And the other side is saying, look at what society did to this person and made them crazy. No, we're pointing the finger in the wrong directions, but in both cases, that is an issue and it is having an impact on society. And we should be stopping.
The largest medical association that has to do with plastic surgery and stuff, and the ones that are doing all these transitioning, they came out this week and said, we are against it until the age of 19. It's been terrible results. And it hasn't created anything positive at all for anybody. That whole idea that, well, if we let them transgender, then they're less likely to commit suicide and all that. That's not been true.
Well, the exact opposite has been proven true. That if they do transition, their suicide rate increases.
Right. But at first they told us it decreases.
Right.
That's how you save their lives, by letting them chop off their body parts.
Yeah.
You know when it changed? It changed recently when that one person that transgendered from a girl to a guy won a lawsuit. She was
Against
16 years old,
yeah,
had a double
doctors.
mastectomy,
Yeah.
and she sued because she said, "Look, I just had a momentary gender dysphoria, and you disfigured me," and won a big settlement. Well, by coincidence, the physicians organization came out right afterwards and said, "We're not going to do that
Amazing
anymore."
how money can influence people.
Yeah,
Yep.
can. He killed and I think it's he or she. Which one was it? He was male at birth. We'll go with he. 39-year-old female educator, 3 12-year-old female students, and 2 male students aged 12 and 13. At home, he killed his 39-year-old mother and an 11-year-old stepbrother. Which is, and then there were 2 victims that were airlifted to hospitals with serious or life-threatening injuries. One of a woman previously believed to have died is now alive, lowering the death toll from initially reported 10 to 9.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. 25 others with non-life-threatening injuries were taken for assessment at the local medical center. So this is a rampage. Now, see, this is pretty much gun-free zones. You know, if you have a gun, you're the only one.
Yeah. Yeah, and in Canada, there are even fewer guns available than here in the States. Yeah, there have been cases where neighbors, people living nearby have shown up to help put people down, these shooters down. But that doesn't happen in Canada. There's just fewer guns.
Yeah.
But yet we still have shootings. We have people running around and all over the place stabbing people. Do we outlaw knives? No.
Oh, that's like England has a big rash of that and acid. Yeah, they burglarize you or steal from you and say, "I'm going to throw acid in your face if you don't give me your purse and wallet and all that stuff."
Yep.
And they send in tons of people with disfigurement to the hospital because of that.
Well,
After you throw acid in your face, you take their purse.
We got people driving cars into crowds and things like that.
Yeah.
We don't outlaw the cars, but people want to outlaw guns. It's just
What a horrific
the guns aren't
situation.
the problem.
The guns are not the problem. You got to research it.
Creating a situation like this person, innocent 12-year-old kid that is mutilated and altered mentally.
Of course,
to
the
the point where he
transgender
can't
community
function
disagrees
in
with you. If
society.
we'd have just played along,
a lot of the people in the transgender society are saying, "You know what? This is wrong. I needed to, somebody lied to me." And they're
so if
starting to
somebody
say
comes
the
up to
truth.
you and says, "My pronoun is they them," what are you going to say to them?
I say, "Hey, dude, what's up?"
Hey, dude.
And I actually was in that situation. I was, in a group where one of them was saying, "Well, I'm they," and I was talking to somebody else, and I referenced the guy. I said, "Well, he just said such and such," and I heard it, but I didn't really register it right away because I was talking to another person. He says they, and I was like,
They what?
Yeah, I was like, "What are you talking about?" It just went in my ear, in my brain, and just kind of rattled around it for a second until I realized, "Oh yeah, he wants to be called a whatever."
Did you?
No.
Oh, okay.
You can call yourself whatever name you want. That's your right, but the language is the language. You don't control the language, and I know what it means.
So confusing.
Yeah, and I've even people that are about changing all the pronouns and stuff. A lot of them are like, don't use they because it implies plurality,
Right.
and you're not plural. It just adds confusion. Pronouns in language should reduce confusion. If you want to make up a pronoun, all right, fine, do that, but don't use they because it implies there's more than one person.
Comedians have taken hold of that, and they say, "Hey, mom, they's coming over for dinner," so they prepare for a big crowd.
Right. It's
it's crazy. But a tragedy nonetheless. Terrible. In Canada.
And not to say
British
that
Columbia secondary school,
yeah,
just goes in and wipes out a secondary school. Kids the age he was when he transitioned.
Yeah, and I'm saying he was the first victim, not to justify what he did.
No,
but what he did was wrong. And I know transgender people out there that are not violent. They're not thinking about being violent. We're not saying all of them are doing that. But when you destroy a person physically and mentally, there's going to be negative results coming from it. And I think we need to address that more directly.
Probably.
Not just the individual, but all the people around them are being harmed with this whole thing.
The Save America Act, which is the act to voter ID.
Voter ID, right.
And citizenship. It had to be voter ID and citizenship. The brought by Chip Roy. It passed the House with one Democrat vote.
Oh, really?
Democrats don't want ID.
Who was the reasonable Democrat?
Representative Henry Sellier, Democrat out of Texas.
Okay.
So it passed 214 to 213. It's on its way to the Senate, which who knows? I mean, it can't pass. I mean, the Democrats are not going to say vote a single time for that.
But the people want it. The Democrats
only 84%.
Well, 71% of the Democrats want it. If you want to be reelected,
to pass, it's going to need 7 Democrats and 100% of the Republicans.
Well, Federer's in there.
Fetterman, and now they need 6 more.
Well, but there's been a small group of Democrats that have been thinking a little bit more rationally lately, so maybe it'll happen.
I think Thune should not go to break. I think he should keep the Senate open
so that they can get it passed
until they pass it. Yeah.
Well, they're still arguing about the DHS funding. That has to be decided by Friday. By tomorrow.
Today.
I thought it was Friday.
Well, it is Friday, but today's the last day.
Okay.
Of the Senate, they're supposed to be closing down.
Okay.
They're not going to be open Friday.
And this is it's negotiation tactics all the time. They're going to say, oh, we're not going to vote for the SAVE Act unless you give us this, even though we all know their constituents want them to vote for the SAVE Act.
Yeah, they don't care
because it's just good common sense. But
and the whole narrative that, well, the reason we don't want it because it's unfair to black people who don't know how to get an ID, which is so.
The women and their names.
Well, now it's the women. They've shifted that because it's.
Well, that was the same argument when Arizona tried to have a similar law.
Yeah.
Years ago, but
women get married all the time, change their IDs immediately. I mean, it kind of like happens.
Well, their concern was it didn't match what was on their birth certificate. So new ID. Yeah.
Never has.
It's
never stopped you from getting an ID.
Not new. This is not a new issue.
Well, it's never been a problem.
No.
The system takes care of that. The system does.
And with everything else that you need identification for in this country, why would you not expect to need to identify yourself when you vote? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't have to. All right, I'm going to take a break to get that dog. Well, let me take the phone call first.
Okay.
The dog can work. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
KBLU.
Yes, sir. How are you, man?
How are you, partner? How you guys doing?
Doing well,
Good.
David.
Larson?
Hey,
Larson,
what's up?
Good. Well, I'm listening to you guys.
Yeah.
But states like California are the ones that really need to show the ID to vote.
Right.
Over there, you just show up and vote, and that's it. I mean, there's no checks and balances.
Right.
Here in Arizona, you do show a form of ID. The problem is the mail-in ballots. You don't need to show any form of ID. That's what the problem is.
Well, they can match your signature,
but they don't.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So the Save America Act will be, if it passes, will be good for some states. It's not going to make a big difference in Arizona until we really change the way we vote by mail. And there are bills out there that propose to fix that. Not do away with the mail-in ballot, but just put some more security features, you could say, on the way you vote. But we know that once it hits the governor's desk, she's going to veto it.
Right.
And That's where we're at.
Unless it can
Unfortunately-
hit the desk next year when we have a better governor.
Right. Or if it goes up for an initiative, and
Right.
the people can vote on it. Now we did have, and I can't remember the details exactly of the bill, the law when last year Ducey being in as governor, and it was a fabulous bill. It was really, really good, but one person ruined it. Guess who?
I don't know.
Joel John.
Who?
Joel John. He was a state rep for
Yeah.
LD 23,
I guess I did hear that.
and he killed it.
Oh well,
One vote,
he did not
vote.
get reelected.
No, and he shouldn't have. I mean, he was not good for Yuma County. And now, after he caused all the damage, now he switched over to independent.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the problem with rhinos. I know a lot of people love rhinos, but they're very dangerous. They're double agents.
Uh-huh.
I respect more a liberal, hardcore Democrat who practice what they preach and that are true to their beliefs, because what you see is what you get, and they're being honest and upfront.
That's
I
why
don't agree with them.
That's why you
I
like
don't agree with
Jasmine Crockett.
Well, Ocasio-Cortez, I disagree with her 100%.
Yeah.
But she's honest. She's not hiding anything.
Right.
The problem is these rhino Republicans that just avoid the radar. They look good, and then when we most need them, that's when we get stabbed in the back.
Yeah. Well, John did something unacceptable, and he's no longer a rep, and no longer even a Republican.
No, and no longer. He should have never been a Republican.
Okay.
But that's anybody can register whatever party they want. But that's very dangerous when somebody is a very smooth speaker, somebody who can just ooh and awe the crowd, and they can seduce, and they can really hypnotize the crowd. Then they get away with murder until it's too late.
Like Mandani, he's a good speaker. He's a great motivator.
That is a perfect example.
Yeah.
That is and Barack Obama was an excellent speaker.
And Hitler. Don't forget Hitler.
Yeah, Hitler was great. Clinton was fantastic. Yeah.
So I always tell people, be very, very cautious of somebody who's very good in public speaking. Because
Watch yourself.
Being good at public speaking means you learn how to manipulate and seduce the crowd. It doesn't mean you're really being that person you're projecting yourself to be.
But you want your leader to be able to do that, to be able to speak publicly and make an impact. But you got to be no. You don't want to at all.
I want a leader that can just tell us what's happening, not give us their version of what they think it should be.
I think Trump is a great speaker. He makes an impact.
He makes an impact. I don't know if he's a great speaker.
Well, no.
Exactly. That's
he may not be technically the best. Neither was Rush Limbaugh technically.
But President Bush was not a great speaker.
But they just line up to hear Trump. They line up to hear Rush Limbaugh.
Because of, I think more because of what they're doing than how they're saying.
Right. He had a way to put the story together. Yeah. Same with Reagan.
But if you look at Reagan was a fabulous speaker.
Yeah.
But if you look at Trump, Trump is actually a terrible public speaker. But it's what he's saying. What he says is what catches everybody's attention.
Yeah. Well,
not how he says it. The only thing that really catches,
I think you're wrong. If he couldn't put it, if he couldn't make it entertaining, couldn't do what he does with the words, then no one's going to listen to him. Look, that the governor of Maine was brilliant. I think it was Maine, Doug. Now he's the Secretary of Energy. He's brilliant, but he was a terrible, boring speaker. And I don't care how many good things came out of his mouth. He just put me to sleep.
Yeah.
Trump never puts you to sleep.
No, he doesn't.
Well, no, but that's what I mean. Look, even the Democrats listen to Trump's speeches just to see what's going to come out of his mouth, and they get ticked off.
Yeah, right. Because he does such a great job.
He's so blunt. That he just rips through the core of Democrats. But he's really not that smooth and really eloquent.
No.
He just throws it out there. Whether you like it or not, he just unloads everything.
He's bombastic.
So was Rush Limbaugh, and he was the #1 speaker in the country.
No, but I think Rush Limbaugh, he had a very unique way of speaking.
So,
I mean, he was very, very, very eloquent. And Rush Limbaugh could actually humiliate somebody without them even knowing they're being humiliated.
yes, he could. And so can Trump.
I think people know when Trump's doing.
That is very good. But anyway, the point here is be very careful with those very smooth speakers that just tell you what you want to hear.
You mean like Gavin Newsom?
Yes.
Oh my God, yes. But in our case, I'm talking about Republicans. Be very cautious with Republicans who are public speaking, and they're telling you what you want to hear.
They're kind of easy to spot in the long run because they tell a different story at every venue, and it kind of catches up.
Well, yeah, I think one thing that any elected official should really explain to people is not what they're going to do, is what does the law say that they cannot do? Because a lot of elected officials know, but they don't tell the committee that. They don't tell the people.
Yeah.
And all these people think that, oh, this guy can do this, he can do that. They're never honest about it. And, oh, yeah, I'm working on it. Well, I'm going to make a call to this place. I'm going to make a call to that place. Knowing they have no authority to deal with whatever issue.
Well, and I can agree with you on that because it indicates that they've actually thought about the position they're running for. When I ran for the school council, school board, I had all these amazing ideas, but as I started talking to people and talking to you and Christy and investigating, I was like, oh, well, the board doesn't have the authority to do that. The board doesn't have the authority to do that. And so it narrowed my focus from all these amazing ideas I had to what can I do in this position and how can I accomplish it?
Right.
And I was,
because there's a bully pulpit too.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's an official.
Yeah. If somebody's just running and say, hey, I want to do all these amazing things, but they can't actually do those amazing things. Then we don't need those people. Yeah.
And people don't know it.
Yeah.
Don't know because the candidate or the elected official doesn't tell them.
Yeah.
That's one of the things when we had the forum just not too long ago with the recorder, the assessor, the treasurer, and a lot of people were and actually we had a very, very good turnout. For being the first time, it was a good turnout. And some people were upset that we didn't give them the answer, or especially me with the title fraud that they wanted to hear. And I was trying to explain to them, legally I can't.
Right.
Legally I can't. For instance, a public notary will take your ID, they'll write your information on their logbook, and then they'll notarize the document, and you're on your way. Public notary does not review the legality or the substance of the document. They're not attorneys.
Right. Just the signature was yours.
It's a signature, right? Exactly. So then that document is now a legal document that the person takes to the recorder's office, and all we do is record it.
Right.
Right.
And there's people that want us to be the attorney to review it and say this is a fraudulent document, we can't accept it, and I'm going to call the police.
Not your call, man.
Yeah.
Exactly. I would like for it to be my call, but it's not my call.
We're backing you up.
I've got to take a break, man. I'm out of time.
Okay.
I'll
All
see
right, no
you.
problem.
Take care, David. All right. Of course, that was David Lara. I'll be back tomorrow. AM 560, KBLU.
Mostly sunny today. We'll hit 80 this afternoon, partly cloudy and 60 tonight. Winds will pick up on Friday. Clouds will increase and cooler. 71 the high Friday. Northwest winds at 10 to 15. Partly cloudy, 48 on Friday night, and then mostly sunny, 78 on Saturday.
We're the comfort experts, people you can trust. Ask our customers. That's why they count on us. Over 50 years of service, keep us going strong. We've got a name you can depend upon. Hansberger Refrigeration and Electric. Hansberger, count on us.
To
be a part of Russ's show, call 928-344-5258. That's 928-344-5258.
AM 560 KBLU. I was 10 minutes early. I'm not leaving. Poor David. Hung up on it.
Poor Lexi, your dog's going nuts thinking we're getting out of here.
Yeah, it was time to go get some bacon. See, the problem with the dog is that Cindy that's in this office or in this building, she feeds him bacon, or these bacon, treats and stuff. She can't wait to see it. That's her favorite person on the whole planet, Cindy. See, we were talking about the SAVE Act, and it's got to go over to the Senate. And the Senate's been suggesting that they may change the rules or do something, but Thune's not going to do that.
Right.
From all I've heard. Right now, you need a 60 vote because of this zombie filibuster. And a filibuster is something that you say, oh, we're going to do a filibuster. So
okay, we'll give in.
We'll give in. We're done. I'll go home. Used to be the original filibuster, the way it is never was such a thing, except this speech, you can talk without any limitations.
Right.
So somebody would just go and read a book, read a phone book, read The Cat in the Hat 50 times,
But
whatever,
they had
just to
be
tie it
there.
up. They had to be there.
And speaking, that whole Mr. Smith Goes to Washington movie, great movie, by the way.
So,
but yeah, now they don't have to do that.
Suggestions have come out from Trump and others that we go back to the way it was. And that can be done by Thune. Thune can just say, no.
Yeah.
We're getting rid of the zombie filibuster, which we just say we're doing it and don't have to do the work.
Yeah.
Because
if you want to filibuster,
you got to
better
stand up
put your
there
diaper on
and come up and talk. Because if you abandon the lectern, then it's somebody else's, and you move on and you vote.
Yep. Well, and it turned the whole thing into a stunt. Jeffries did 22 hours or something, a few months ago, and nobody cared because it doesn't matter anymore because all you have to do is claim a filibuster and it matters.
He did it for attention. He got attention. It was like, what the heck are you doing?
Yeah,
it's just a stunt.
But yeah, I like the idea of if you're going to do it, prove it, get up there and go for it.
Here's why the minority whip, Catherine Clark, a Democrat out of Massachusetts, explains why the Democrats are not going to vote for voter ID. She accused Republicans of trying to make it harder for women to vote.
The women again.
She argued legislation would make it more difficult for married women to cast ballots in their surnames if different from the maiden name on their birth certificate. And that's just a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
Of course that's crap. In fact, when I got married to Helen, she just re-registered her vote.
Yeah.
Nobody said it was hard.
And if you are not involved enough to go around and re-register with your new name, then maybe you shouldn't be voting.
I think everyone that votes really have to do that because there's a million things you got to do. You got to do checkbooks and deeds and titles and everything else, and they do it all. But voting is not that important, I guess.
Yeah.
To them.
Well, it's not. And if it's not that important to you, okay, don't vote. Stay home.
But it's that ridiculous that that's their narrative. Because I think they finally figured out by saying that black people don't know how to get an ID was insulting. I think they finally realized.
Well, it's insulting to women too to say you're too lazy to change the paper.
The women haven't caught on to it yet. That was insulting.
But she is a woman, so she can insult women.
Yeah, she's allowed to. But I think the chances of this passing are slim right now. But I don't know what they have up their sleeve between Thune and Trump and everybody else. But you get it through the.
I'm sure they're going to be
last.
They're trying to throw it in with this whole DHS thing.
Yes.
And if they can negotiate it out where we can.
Voting's important enough that if the Democrats want to shut the government down, do it.
Right. Well, and they're saying, we made our demands, but they're not talking to us. That's because you've made them as demands. You've said we are not going to budge on these. Well, then what's there to negotiate with? You can't go in saying we have made our decision and we're not changing and expect people to talk to you about changing your decision.
Yeah.
If you want us to sit down and talk, then say these are things we'd like. Let's figure out how we can get them. That's a negotiation conversation.
Yeah. Well,
making a demand that you're not going to budge.
It's ridiculous how many things are different. And the voting's an ideal one to point out that When you got 84% of the American population that all agree, that's a hard number to reach.
Yeah.
Where 84% will agree on anything.
And with the way some of those polls are worded, maybe some of those other 16 agree too, but they just didn't understand the question.
But it doesn't stop the Democrats from saying you're not going to get it.
And especially with 71% of the Democrats agreeing with it.
Yeah, it's a bipartisan amongst the voters,
It
but
is.
amongst
By
the elected officials, 100% no to the Democrat.
Yeah.
Except for one. There's
Yeah,
one.
except for one.
And maybe Fetterman in the Senate. We don't know yet. We don't know.
I always say Federer. It's Fetterman?
Fetterman.
I always say Federer.
Well, say whatever you want.
Okay. We know who I'm talking
You can say they, them. I don't care. The grand jury rejected the DOJ effort to indict Democratic lawmakers who urged the military to defy illegal order.
Yeah.
And
as much as I don't like what they did,
yeah,
I don't think it was technically illegal.
Well, it definitely was for the one that's, for our Senate.
Well, all he did was
It's not illegal, but there's a price to pay.
It's not illegal. Yeah.
There's a price to pay.
But that price would only be paid among the military.
The reason that they took it to a grand jury is it's so dangerous. It's incitement, and that's what they got. That they're trying to get the U.S. military not to listen to orders, and that's a dangerous thing to do. Whether it's legal or not, I don't know. I think it should be, but I think they were reckless.
I think they consulted with their lawyers, and their lawyers said, as long as you say this, it's not technically illegal.
Probably, maybe. I think they're pushing it, but they're and I think it's being held right. I don't care if they're indicted. I don't care. I care that we're getting all the information out there that it was just BS what they were doing, and it was horrible what they're doing. And then Kelly had to pay a price because he's still a military officer, retired, but he's on payroll,
right?
And he can't do those things. He can't go on and do those.
He's filed a lawsuit
But the lawsuits in civilian courts, the civilian courts don't have jurisdiction. It's military. And he had the right. He had the right to appeal. He refused to, because he would see.
I didn't hear about that.
Well, I say refused. He had 30 days, and he's not made any steps to do it, because he would go before a jury of his peers,
right?
Which would be military.
Well, and that's one of the problems I have with the way Trump and Hegseth handled it. They came out so quickly against it and denounced it that if Kelly did appeal it and he went before a court and lost, there would be grounds for appeal because the people that the court answered to had already stated
this is military.
Yeah. Well, who's in charge of the military? President Trump and Pete Hegseth.
They do not get involved in those issues. That's not something
they shouldn't have said anything at all because it opens up the possibility.
I think they absolutely should have.
And that's what I've been
these
saying.
Officers in this military, they're going to do according to military doctrine. Period.
I agree. Yeah. But a lawyer would say no. It was tainted.
It's not
the court was tainted.
It's only going to go to a military lawyer. It's a military thing. It's not going in the regular courts. And for him to go to the regular courts, it's really meaningless. They're not going to overrule the military justice.
Well, he's not really concerned about the income. He wants the.
He just wants the image. He just wants the image. That's all. So the Justice Department attempt to indict the group didn't get through the grand jury, and there's no. I mean, there's still avenues they could do. I don't know if it's worth it. But here's what the six did. The six are going to have retribution, and they're going to go after. Yeah, I know.
They already got the retribution.
Well,
the grand jury said
according to this.
So
according to this, they're not done. According to this, they're not done. They're talking. The Slotkin's one of them. Senator Elisa Slotkin. She said, tonight we can score one for the Constitution of our freedom of speech and the rule of law. But today wasn't just an embarrassment for the day of the administration. It was another sad day for our country. Kelly says, outrageous abuse of power by Donald Trump and his lackeys. And see, I had something in here from Jason Crow. Oh, okay, that was a different article about they're going to go after them in some way. Crow said, I've learned to take Donald Trump's words and to listen to him. He actually has come right out and said that he thought about this and said it was because he wants to silence political opposition. So let's actually just listen to what the man says. So that's actually a ball that was in the Trump administration's court. They've been very clear about our position and needs to stop. It doesn't stop, and we'll take all necessary actions. He was stronger than that. Another one I read that he's going to take some action himself. But it was unclear as to what he was going to do. Whatever you want to do is fine.
Right.
Go ahead. But I think what they're doing is unconscionable, immoral, wrong, even if,
This is News Talk 560 KBLU, Yuma.
Operation in Minnesota is being drawn down.